Folklorama officially kicks off in less than a week, but on Saturday, visitors at Assiniboine Park's Lyric Theatre were treated to a sneak peek of what's in store. It was hot, hot, hot with that sun beaming down, but it didn't stop people from dancing, singing, and enjoying the cavalcade of colors and cultures. Performers from a number of pavilions also graced the stage ahead of what's expected to be a busy 2 weeks.
This year we are actually welcoming 2 new pavilions we're excited about. One is Ghana, which will be celebrating the Gold Coast of Africa. And the second is Latin American Pavilion, which will have a mix of some of the smaller communities, Nicaragua, Venezuela, places we haven't necessarily seen represented.
Folklorama runs from August 4th to the 17th. For those who are planning on checking out the pavilions, where they are and what they have to offer, you can check out the festival's website.
Folklorama kicks off in less than a week, but on Saturday, visitors at Assiniboine Park's Lyric Theatre were treated to a sneak peek of what's in store. It was hot, hot, hot with that sun beaming down, but it didn't stop people from dancing, singing, and enjoying the parade of colors and cultures. Performers from pavilions also graced the stage ahead of what's expected to be a busy 2 weeks.
This year we are actually welcoming 2 new pavilions we're excited about. One is Ghana, which will be celebrating the Gold Coast of Africa. And the second is Latin American Pavilion, which will have a mix of some of the smaller communities, Nicaragua, Venezuela, places we haven't necessarily seen represented.
Folklorama runs from August 4th to the 17th. For those who are planning on checking out the pavilions, where they are and what they have to offer, you can check out the festival's website.
PG. Let's go now to Joseph Bernacki, who is live this morning at the pavilion, the Ghana Pavilion on Provencher. Good morning, Joseph.
Good morning, Rochelle, and good morning, Winnipeg. Yes, thank you for joining us this morning. We are welcoming Folklorama, of course, for its 53rd year, and what a better way to start than a brand new pavilion here at the Franco-Manitoban Cultural Centre. Yes, it is the Ghana Pavilion, as Rochelle mentioned. We're showing the cultural display behind me this morning. Coming up in about half an hour's time, we're going to be speaking with the pavilion coordinator from Ghana, talking about how this brand new pavilion launched. It's one of 2 brand new pavilions this year. Of course, next week there's a Latin American pavilion you can check out as well, and it's a really exciting time for Folklorama. You know, we're celebrating 53 years of this beloved, tradition here in our city. There's 38 pavilions this year. 2 have returned as well, which is exciting from before the pandemic. The Chile Lindo and the Korean Pavilion, those are all back as well. We're going to bring you lots of coverage this week from all these different places and more. So keep it locked on CTV Morning Live.
Thank you, Joseph. If you have pets,
travel around the world without getting on a plane. The longest-running multicultural festival is back. Folklorama is on August 4th to 17th. Enjoy amazing hospitality from pavilions across Winnipeg. Experience cultural foods, music, dance, and more from various countries. Grab your passport and plan your adventure at folklorama.ca.
Our community, brought to you by Mr. Reuter Plumbing. Born to be a hero, trained to be a plumber.
Folklorama is back this year, and a brand new pavilion is Ghana, and that is where our Joseph Bernacki is live this morning. Good morning, Joseph.
Good morning, Rochelle, and good morning, Manitoba. Yeah, a really exciting way to start our week, promoting all the different Folklorama pavilions. Very pleased to be joined by Abigail Larson. She is the coordinator here at the Ghana Pavilion. Thank you so much for your time this morning.
Thank you for having me.
Talk to us about how this brand new pavilion all came together. Really a lot of work that's been over the past year in getting this set up.
Yes, well, we are very, very excited to present to you the Ghana Pavilion. We have been a part of Folklorama for over 20 years, and we've been having so much fun with the African Pavilion. But as you know, Africa is a continent and has many, many countries, and we are one country that has grown so much here in Manitoba. The Ghanaian Union of Manitoba is a union that represents all of the Ghanaians that have immigrated here to Winnipeg and Manitoba, and we are so fortunate that we've grown so much that we are now able to run our own pavilion. And as you can see, it's a lot of work, but we have been doing it for so long. It's just great to be able to do it now for just our country.
You were telling me before we were live this morning, storytelling is so important in the Ghanaian culture. Talk to me about how the show was presented. A really nice approach.
Yes, so this year when we thought of bringing you Ghana, we thought, let's take you through the eyes of a tourist. And we have people that are coming back from Winnipeg or Canada or the States, goes back to Ghana, and travels through the show, and they will show you and make you see all of the wonderful things that we have to present to you on stage, as well as in the kitchen, and as well as here in our cultural display. And that is what makes our show very, very unique.
Cameraman Scott, of course, has been showing this lovely cultural display. Abigail, tell me how important it has to have all aspects and ages of the community involved in bringing this show together.
It's one of my favorite parts of our show. We have children as young as 3 performing on stage, as old as 70 singing in a choir. We really believe that passing on these traditions and making sure that our children understand the importance of culture and sharing that culture here in Winnipeg is important. And so the traditions that we have from our elders get passed on to our youth, and we then showcase it to the community.
Abigail, we thank you so much for your time this morning. We're going to be back in the 7 o'clock hour. Of course, the shows for the pavilion here are at 6:45, 8:15, and 9:45. We'll be back soon on CTV Morning Live.
Thank you, Joseph. Out on the roof, let's go back now to Joseph Bernanke, who is at the Ghana Pavilion. Of course, Folklorama did begin yesterday. This is a brand new pavilion this year, Joseph.
It certainly is, Rochelle. Yes, good morning, Winnipeg. If you're joining us this morning, we're having a great time here on CTV Morning Live at the Ghana Pavilion. It's at the Franco-Manitoban Cultural Center here on Provencher Avenue, of course, here in St. Boniface. Coming up in about 20 minutes, we're going to be talking about some of the beautiful clothing, the fabric, and the significance of the kente cloth here to traditional Ghanaian culture. Of course, cameraman Scott showing a little bit of that clothing, the cultural display. This is a wonderful new pavilion that's joined the 38, of course, that you can catch. This is here in the first week, of course, of Folklorama. Really interesting backstory. Of course, a lot of the people involved used to be involved in the African pavilion. They have been able to form their own pavilion here, which is really exciting. It's one of 2 brand new pavilions this year. Of course, next week there's a Latin American pavilion. There's so much to see if you come on down. The show times tonight, of course, are 6:45, 8:15, and 9:45. And we're going to be continuing those conversations, like I said, in just about 20 minutes' time. So keep it locked on CTV Morning Live.
Thank you, Joseph. Out on the rooftop.
Travel around the world without the plane ride. Folklorama is on August 4th to 17th.
Enjoy hospitality, cultural foods, music, dance, and more. Plan your adventure at folklorama.ca.
Sponsored by the Casinos of Winnipeg.
Looks good. All right, coming up, we're going to hear a little bit more about Folklorama and the Ghana Pavilion. Going back now to Joseph Bernanke, who is live at the Ghana Pavilion this morning. It is a brand new pavilion, and there is a selfie station there as well. Good morning, Joseph.
Good morning, Rochelle. Yes, good morning, Winnipeg. It's certainly been an exciting morning here at the Ghana Pavilion. I'm very pleased to be joined by Tantea Stoller and Simon and Justice Warmanor. They are all Ghanaian dancers and volunteers at the pavilion. They're working on a kente cloth outfit that we're going to be showcasing in just a moment. But Tantea, you can take part and wear this outfit as selfie station. Introduce us to this selfie station.
Yeah, so behind us here we have the Ghana Pavilion selfie station where, like you mentioned, you can try on the kente cloth as well as learn how to tie it yourself. You can try out some fun props and take a photo with your friends and whoever you're with, as well as some of the ambassadors, and have a lasting memory at the first ever Ghana Pavilion.
You're involved in the show here. How exciting has it been to launch this brand new pavilion?
Yeah, it's super exciting. I'm really happy to be here. I've had so much fun so far, and I can't wait for the rest of the week.
Wonderful. Well, Simon, you're working on the outfit this morning, helping your son put it on. Talk to me about its cultural significance and what the kente cloth symbolizes.
Yes, the kente cloth is very significant in Ghanaian culture because it is used in special occasions such as birthday parties, weddings, naming ceremonies, and on the traditional special occasions.
And is there certain symbols that can be included in all the different patterns?
Yes, there are several patterns depending on what the architect is using.
Can you tell me about this particular cloth? What's shown on it?
Yes, this one is, as you can see, it has black and white, and then a stool in the middle.
And what is that symbol in the middle?
Yes, the stool is for chiefs. Our chiefs, they use stool when on a special occasions they sit on it.
Cool. And Justice, you were telling me it's important to learn how to be able to wear this. How did you learn from your father how to put on this outfit?
Yeah, as I'm growing older and as I'm becoming an adult, it's very significant for me to learn how to wear the kente cloth. And it's been an awesome experience with my father teaching me how to do it.
Wonderful. Well, Justice is going to be joining us again in a few minutes on the show. Simon, Tantea, we really appreciate your time on the show this morning, and we'll be back at 7:42 here from the Ghana Pavilion. Stay tuned.
Thank you, Joseph. It's going to be a great week to tour many pavilions, Terry.
I'm actually going tonight.
Yeah, okay.
So I'm on the CTV and the Bounce Virgin Mystery Tour Fun Bus.
Yes.
So we're going to hit up a couple of pavilions. I have no idea which ones yet. We'll find out tonight. Like, that's the mystery part of it.
Okay.
The fun is just because it's going to be fun.
Yeah.
So, mystery fun bus. There you have it.
Thank you, Terry. We're going to go back to Joseph Bernacki now. We're talking about Folklorama. It started yesterday. You're at the Ghana Pavilion, which is brand new this year. And you're going to tell us a little bit more about some of the cool things that are happening there, including some of the dances that we could expect to see when we visit on our own.
Certainly am, Rochelle. Yeah, we have one happening right behind me this morning. I'm very pleased to be joined by Katali Stoller. He is the youth ambassador for the Ghana Pavilion. Justice Wormanor, who we just had in our last segment. Pleasure to have you on our show again, guys.
Thank you so much for having us. It's really awesome to talk to you guys about dancing. We're very excited to talk to you about it.
Talk to me a little bit about what your father, Simon's doing. He was just on our show. What's happening in the background?
Yeah, just behind us, my dad, he is dancing the very traditional dance called Agbagja. It's very traditional for the Aways, my dad's background, to dance for things like naming ceremonies, birthdays, weddings, and funerals.
And we have Coffee Man, of course, on drums, who we're going to be speaking with later on the show. Katali, talk to me about you and your sister, Tantea, who we had on our show. You arrange the choreography. Talk to me the work that goes into arranging these performances.
Yeah, it takes a while. It takes a lot of research and asking a lot of questions to the right people. But I think this is our second year working on the dances, and I think we've really honed in on our craft and been able to mesh the traditional moves as well as more modern moves that I think, at least I hope our dancers really enjoy.
That's really exciting, and traditional Ghanaian drumming is really important to your heritage. Talk to me a little bit about what Coffee Man is doing and what it means to your culture.
Yes, so Coffee Man over there, he's playing on a drum called the djembe drum, which is traditional to Ghana. It's made out of a single log that's been carved out, and it has goat skin on top. It's played at all kinds of ceremonies for dancing and for singing. You'll see definitely part of it in the show, and you'll see it in dances like Aduwa and Abaja. And yeah, it's really wonderful to listen to him play.
And, you know, Abigail was mentioning on the show earlier this morning, drumming was really a way of communication, I understand, you know, many years ago, still in the Ghana culture.
Yeah, definitely. Many communities, they use it to communicate in between each other. And, like, it's a whole other language that takes years to learn. But once they do, it's really cool to experience and watch yourself.
Wonderful. Well, thank you for your time as youth ambassador, of course. Justice as well. As you can see, Simon and Coffee Man in the background. These shows are happening 6:45, 8:15, and 9:45 tonight, and we'll be back in the 8 o'clock hour with more from the Ghana Pavilion.
So fun. Okay, thank you, Joseph. And get some exercise and get a history lesson at the same time. Thanks, Christian, for doing this with us. We really appreciate it. Coming up, Joseph Bernacki is enjoying the Ghanan Pavilion. It's brand new this year. We're going to find out a little bit more about the food you can enjoy when you visit. We're at the Ghana Pavilion this morning. Folklorama officially kicked off yesterday. And Joseph, you're going to show us some amazing food people will enjoy.
Yes, thank you, Rochelle. Good morning, Winnipeg. It wouldn't be Folklorama without food. I'm very pleased to be joined by Stella Kankam and Maggie and Joshua Yaboa. Joshua is our adult ambassador for the pavilion, and Maggie and Stella are our kitchen coordinators. Stella, thank you for your time this morning.
You're welcome.
This is a delicious appetizer we had a chance to try before we went live this morning. Talk to me about the kelewele.
Okay, kelewele is plantain, but we coated it with a lot of nice ginger, pepper, clove, a lot of spice. We coated it. So as you said, so people, and kelewele is natural, plantain is natural sugar. It's sweet. It's sweeter than sugar. So people should come down and try. This is different from the plantain we used to do. This one has spices mixed in it.
And in our dish in the middle, we have the ampesi. Maggie, talk to me a little bit about this vegetarian dish and what we're looking at.
Yes, ampesi is normally spinach stew. Spinach is difficult for some people to have, but once it's made into stew, it tastes the best. And it goes with plantain, as you can see here right now. And sometimes it goes with yam. You can even take it with potatoes. So that is ampisi, usually for lunch or supper or for any occasion or any appetite.
And to the right, of course, we have a delicious meal with Ghanaian jollof rice. Very important with that distinction. Joshua, talk to me about the rice and the chicken, of course, it's paired with.
So the Ghana jollof rice, it is a very popular dish that we have in Ghana. As you can see here on the table, the different spices and herbs and vegetables that we have here are all put into the rice to make the rice. And with the stew on the chicken, of course, more different spices that you can add to make it and give it that rich, flavorful taste.
And what did you enjoy the most about growing up with all these different kinds of foods?
With these different kinds of foods, it's very nice because you can eat them every single day and you won't ever get tired of them. It's perfect.
And Maggie, you know, this is the first year for the Ghana Pavilion.
Yes.
How exciting has it been to be able to serve these dishes for the first time, seeing people enjoy them for customers and attendees?
Yeah, it's very exciting because, like you said, this is our inaugural year, and we can't wait to have people to come and taste our food, especially the new ones like the plantain and spinach and the kelewele. So people should come by and have a taste. The whole Ghanaian community in Winnipeg, Manitoba are so excited, and everybody is working tirelessly to get this together.
Wonderful.
Yes.
Well, Joshua, Maggie, Stella, we appreciate all of your time on the show this morning. Again, the first shows are going to be starting at 6:45 tonight. We're going to be back at 8:38 talking a little bit more about the music and performances you can see here at the Ghana Pavilion.
Oh, the food is always my favorite part. Thank you, Joseph. For our question of the day, we wanted to know which pavilion you're most excited to visit at Folklorama this year and why. And Blue Car Road Tripper says Serbia and the Croatian pavilions, they have the best food and great entertainment. Susan says, I love the Ukrainian pavilion, good entertainment, good food. And Shauna agrees. Her favorite is also the Ukrainian Kyiv pavilion. The beautiful costumes, the lively entertainment, and the amazing food makes this pavilion a must-see. Thank you to all of you for your responses.
The question of the day is brought to you by Sculptology, Winnipeg's first and only dual sculpting clinic.
Joseph Bernacki has been spending the morning with people at the Ghana Pavilion, which is brand new this year. Good morning, Joseph.
Good morning, Rochelle. Yeah, it's been a great morning here at the Franco-Manitoban Cultural Center. That's where you'll find myself and Coffee Man this morning, Evans Coffee. Thank you so much for your time this morning.
You're welcome.
Coffee Man, you've been a performer for over 34 years at Folklorama. First of all, thank you for helping make Folklorama special. Tell me what people can expect this year for entertainment here at the Ghana Pavilion.
Oh, yeah. In this year, our inaugural year, we are showcasing the fusion of traditional and modern Ghanaian cultural dances with high life music and much more. Our elders, our culture, our elders.
It's part of the choir you were telling me about this morning. Talk to me about the choir.
Our elders choir is already participating, and they want to share their culture with Winnipeg.
You have a beautiful xylophone in front of you. Talk to me about the significance of this instrument in Ghana's culture.
Beautiful musical instrument. Xylophone comes with its own gauze underneath, and the gauze, they resonate. Anytime you hear it, they make echo sound, and it brings the music from elsewhere.
Well, we appreciate the knowledge, of course, on this, and he was playing the djembe drums before us earlier on the show this morning. Take it away. I understand you've got a musical performance for us.
Yes. Here is the echoes of the jungle.
Thank you to them for that. And Terry, you're going to be on the Mystery Fun Bus tonight.
I am. So yes, this bus will take a group of contest winners along with myself, and there's going to be some personalities from Bounce and Virgin FM as well. And we're going to tour 2 different pavilions, but we don't know what they are yet. So it's a Mystery Fun Bus, and we'll find out tonight where we're going. But I said earlier that I will keep you updated. If you find me on Instagram, I'll be posting some of our whereabouts tonight. And yeah, I love Folklorama, and it kicked off yesterday. Will continue for a couple of weeks. And some air-conditioned venues, although with the temperatures throughout this week, that's not even going to be a priority for a lot of people.
Folklorama is officially in full swing. I'm Taylor Brock at the Pearl of the Orient Philippines Pavilion. Still to come, we'll show you what's on the menu.
Well, now's your chance to tour the globe without going outside the perimeter highway. Winnipeg's largest ethno-cultural celebration, Folklorama, kicked off on Sunday. And CTV's Taylor Brock is checking in on some of the pavilions for us. So Taylor, where do we find you right now?
Well, technically, I'm in Winnipeg, but it really does feel like we're getting a bit of an introduction to the Philippines here at the Pearl of the Orient Philippines Pavilion. I'm here with Anne and Yasmin, who are showing us what's on the menu. So what's on this beautiful plate in front of us?
Yeah, we're so excited to share all the food with you. So some of the foods that we have on this plate include pork barbecue, there is pancit quesado. Oh, for sure. So there's pork barbecue, there's pancit quesado, chicken adobo, as well as lumpiang gulay, so that's egg roasted vegetables, and then there's the pork lumpia as well. So then Jasmine
the desserts are my absolute favorite. So we have this is a mango pudding here. They're made with like mango specifically from the Philippines, so they're really yellow and they're really sweet. These are egg tarts, and this is a drink. It's called sago. It's very sweet. It's my favorite, my absolute favorite, no doubt.
So this question can be for either of you, but how do you pick actually what to eat when you come here?
Oh, it's super hard. So I know like my favorite thing is pancit quesado. So pancit's actually served a lot of the times at birthdays. What you'll see with a lot of the Filipino food is that it brings in a lot of the different cultures for folks that have sort of come through the Philippines, have stayed. So there's a lot of different influences, and you'll notice that with the pancit quesado, there's the rice noodles that are very similar to things that you'll see within the Chinese culture, and it means long life. So we always serve pancit at birthdays to wish somebody a long life.
That's really cute.
Yeah.
You mentioned that throughout the Philippines there are a bunch of different cuisines and little flavorings that just are more regional. How does that work?
Yeah, so depending on the area of the Philippines that you're from, some of this food might actually look a little bit different. Some includes different ingredients like coconut milk, etc. And a lot of it even gets spicier the more south that you get. So
Yasmin, I mean, obviously, you've mentioned that you are a multi-generation pavilion, not just attendee, but volunteer. What's it been like not to be part of showcasing your culture in this particular way?
In this particular way of the food, well, I love sharing my culture with all my friends. A lot of my friends are Filipino, though, so it's great to be able to eat with everybody. That's one of my favorite parts about sharing my culture, honestly. So yeah, I think that's one of the best parts about it.
Okay. Well, obviously we have a big plate of food. How many hours does it take to get all of this put together? I heard that you've been in the kitchen a little while today.
Yeah, so our pavilion, actually, we start prepping in general in October. So that's when dancers start prepping. We start preparing for the pavilion in general. So it's quite a long process because we want to make sure that everything that we present, including the food, is done with as much love and authenticity as we can.
Okay, well, we've got lots more to show here at the Philippines Pavilion, including dancing as well as different cultural artifacts. We'll share more about that coming up in the 6 o'clock show, Catherine.
Taylor, my stomach is grumbling, so if you want to bring leftovers back to the newsroom, I won't complain. So
we'll see. Maybe this plate will disappear.
Maybe. All right, thanks for that, Taylor.
Plus, time to punch your ticket for a tour of the globe. We take you live to Folklorama as the festival gets in full swing.
Folklorama is in full swing, and that means Winnipeggers can once again take a trip around the world without even leaving the city. Among the many pavilions welcoming guests during this first week of the festival is the Pearl of the Orient Philippine Pavilion. CTV's Taylor Brock joins us now from R.B. Russell Vocational School, where the pavilion is located. So, Taylor, what can guests expect tonight?
Well, you know, as I was saying just a moment ago, Winnipeg has such a huge Filipino community, and this is a wonderful opportunity for people to not just get a taste of the culture, but really be involved and get to know all of the beautiful parts to it, including dancing is what we are up to right now. So can you tell me a little bit more about the dance that you were just about to show me?
Yeah, so today we're going to be showing Tinikling. It originally started in Leyte, Visayas, and it's a depiction of tickling birds dodging farmers' traps by weaving and going through them. Yeah, so that's what we're going to be showing right now.
Okay, so let's go do it. All right, sorry folks, we'll give this a go. Where do I stand?
Oh, okay, so what we're going to be doing is the beat of the clapping is tap, tap, close.
Okay.
Tap, tap, close. Tap, tap, close. And the basic step would just be to go through the bamboo. So tap, tap, close. Tap, tap, close. Oh, it's hard. It's hard without music. Tap, tap, close. Tap, tap, close. Tap, tap, close. Tap, tap, close. Tap, tap, close.
So then are you a good dancer if you can do it quickly?
With music, yeah, it's way easier. You want to try just going through the beat?
We have to go do this really, really slowly.
Yeah.
Okay, let's give it a go. Okay, let's run through it first. Okay, so it's
tap,
tap.
Yep.
Out.
And then out.
Okay.
And then in, out. In, out.
Okay.
In, out.
So does it hurt when they go?
Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you. Yeah.
Okay, we'll give it a go. Let's do it slowly.
It does take a lot of practice for you to be able to do it without getting clapped, but...
Okay, let's give it a go.
In, out.
Okay.
Yeah. In, out.
Okay.
In, out.
Oh, close.
In, out.
Okay.
In, out.
Yeah. Okay, so can I get you guys to show me how it's done in actual speed?
Yeah.
You got it. Okay.
All right, show us. There are 3 shows tonight, Catherine, that people can check out. Not just this very challenging looking dance, but a lot more. I was told there are a lot of different shows happening as well throughout the entire week. Again, we are here at R.B. Russell School for the Pearl of the Orient Philippines Pavilion.
Some very talented performers. Still.
Tanse, Buju, Anin, Wache. I'm Lucas.
And I'm Aubrey. Join us at the First Nations Pavilion.
Discover the meaning of Ojwanje.
Enjoy, celebrate, learn, and have fun.
The sights and sounds of the Philippine Islands are on full display at Folklorama this week. The first performance of the night is about to get underway at the Pearl of the Orient Philippine Pavilion. And CTV's Taylor Brock joins us now from R.B. Russell Vocational School. That's where the pavilion is located. So, Taylor, what's going on down there?
Well, right now we are at the cultural area, particularly Filipino pool. So can you tell me a little bit more, Josiah, about what actually is the difference between the pool we know here in Canada and Filipino pool?
Of course. So for Filipino pool, it's pretty much the same thing with 4 corners, except...
Oh, here, hold it for you.
Thanks so much. Except for the balls, we have these little discs. They're pretty thin, and they would slide around the board. You would still hit it with, this would be the cue ball, which is just a bigger disc, and there would be powder all over the board.
Okay, so how does it work?
Just like pool, you need to break the center open with the cue ball, and then just like that.
Okay, I'll give it a go. So I have to hit the key one, and does it matter what color?
Doesn't matter what color first.
Okay, oh boy, this is not going to go well. I do not even know how to hold this. Is it like this?
Yeah, sure.
Okay, okay.
As long as it doesn't move.
It doesn't move?
As long as you can't wiggle it around.
Okay.
Perfect.
I got none in, but I didn't hurt anyone. And you had one more thing you wanted to quickly show us, right? You had a table. We'll quickly zoom over. Yeah. What do you have to do there? Oh no, the pig's missing!
Oh, no.
Well, Josiah was going to show us this big, beautiful pig. Apparently, it was not cooked and it ran away. So folks have to come down to see this one for themselves. I'm assuming we're going to get the pig back. Of course. We are your RB Russell School. You folks are here all week long. Come find the pig, I guess. Yes, who got the chance to? Catherine.
Yes, maybe find that pig for us and report back. Thank you, Taylor.
Experience the vibrant sights and sounds of a Ukrainian village fair. Colorful scenes full of folk dance and song. We'll see you at Yarmarok.
Spotlight, sponsored by the Casinos of Winnipeg, presenting Marty Stewart.
Well, as you've already seen, we're traveling the world this week without leaving home, and one of those stops is at a new Folklorama pavilion, Ghana. The Ghana Pavilion showcases energetic dances, vibrant colors, and the rich traditions of the ancient Gold Coast. It's the first year for the pavilion, which was previously part of the African Pavilion. Along with music, dance, and attire, the pavilion highlights the tradition of storytelling in its culture.
We take you on a journey with two friends who are traveling in Ghana, and you can see the life and the culture through their eyes. And they bring to you a humor and fun as they show you our dancing and our traditions on stage.
You can catch the Ghana Pavilion at the Franco-Manitoban Cultural Center on Provencher from now through Saturday. The Winnipeg
Thanks, Colleen. Well, before we leave you tonight, let's check in one last time at Folklorama's Pearl of the Orient Philippine Pavilion. The first show of the night is now underway. Let's listen in. Have a good night.
CTV Morning, WPG, on our X page. All right, let's go to Joseph Bernacki now, who is taking us on another tour, another Folklorama Pavilion this morning. Good morning, Joseph.
Good morning, Rochelle, and good morning, Manitoba. Yes, happy Wednesday. We've made it to the middle of our week, and today we're going to have a great day at the Punjab Pavilion here at the Punjab Cultural Center at 1770 King Edward Street. This is such a great facility. It's been here for a long time. It's been the host of many Folklorama events, including the Punjab Pavilion. And coming up throughout the show today, we're really going to showcase a whole lot of their culture, which is really awesome. Coming up in about half an hour's time, cameraman Scott is showing a little bit of the cultural display. We're going to have a couple of the youth ambassadors join me, speak to me about all these different things that we're currently showing, including this lovely spinning wheel. They were showing me a little bit before. It is used to make clothing in this part of their culture. Look at the intricate design on it. It's absolutely fantastic. We have some musical instruments that are to the left of that as well. We're going to be having a performance later on today in the show, of course, talking about some food as well, as it goes with every Folklorama Pavilion. And it's been a really great week. Keep it here on CTV Morning Live for more.
Thank you, Joseph. We're visiting the Punjab Pavilion this morning. We're going to hear a little bit more about the cultural display. Let's go now to the Punjab Pavilion with our Joseph Bernacki. Good morning, Joseph.
Good morning, Rochelle, and good morning, Winnipeg. Yes, at this time, I'm very pleased to introduce our youth ambassadors for the Punjab Pavilion, Anshreet Gill to my left and Bisman Randhawa to my right. Ladies, thank you both so much for your time this morning.
Thank you for having us.
Yeah, this is a beautiful display you guys have put together for this year. Walk us through a little bit about what this year's cultural display is.
For sure. So every year at our culture display, our initiative really is to teach as many people as possible about our culture, including the younger generations. So we really take pride in this display. Starting off, we have musical instruments. Music is a really big thing in our culture, so showcasing these objects is really important, and it helps really show the importance of the music and how the simplicity helps bring our community together, whether it's through the music, the vibrant dances. So it is really one of the biggest things in our culture.
And this spinning wheel, Bisman, we had a chance to show at the top of the hour of our show. It's absolutely beautiful. Tell me a little bit about what it was used for.
So the spinning wheel is actually called a charka, and it was used for a cotton. You would put the cotton in, you would spin it around, and it would create yarn that is used to make a lot of the beautiful patterns you'll see in the display over here. And all throughout Punjabi culture, there's a lot of craftsmanship, a lot of intricate designs and handwork all throughout the display you'll see, and all throughout the pavilion, whether that be on the clothing or on the jewels. So it's a very beautiful design. You'll see it in various forms and various geometrical shapes.
You're holding a lovely fan in your hand. There's also one on the table to your right. Talk to us a little bit about the paki.
So the paki is basically used traditionally for when power would go out. You would use it to stay cool in the summers. It's a very beautiful fan. This design actually is called a fulkari, which is a flower bed, and it showcases a lot of the various geometrical designs and patterns. And you'll see a lot of these designs not throughout only just the display, but all throughout the performances. So it's a really beautiful and vibrant way to stay connected.
We're going to be shortly wrapping up this first segment, Bisman, but tell me a little bit about the spice wheel, of course, to your right as well.
So this is a staple in every Punjabi household. We have it everywhere. These spices are used as fundamental building blocks for a lot of our cuisine, for medicines, and really great ways to stay healthy and connect with nature.
Wonderful. Well, ladies, thank you both for your time on the show this morning. Of course, if you want to come down to the Punjab Pavilion, we're here at 1770 King Edward Street. Of course, that's the Punjabi Cultural Center. Show times, again, are 6:45, 8:15, and 9:45, and we'll be back in the 7 o'clock hour with more content from here at the Pavilion.
Okay, well, thank you for that, Joseph. Out on the roof. Let's go back now to Joseph Bernacki, who is spending the morning with Folklorama this morning. And this morning, you are at the Punjab Pavilion. Good morning, Joseph.
Good morning, Rochelle, and good morning, Winnipeg. Yes, if you're just joining us this morning, we're having a great time here at 1770 King Edward Street. It's the home, of course, of the Punjabi Cultural Center and where the Punjab Pavilion is located. Coming up in about 20 minutes' time, we're going to be showing off this lovely language display behind me, learning about the Punjabi language, what exactly means. We're going to have one of the adult ambassadors from the pavilion join me. We had the youth ambassadors on earlier this morning, graciously talked to me about all the different things set up here in the cultural display, which was awesome. We're going to be talking about some traditional Punjabi drinks featuring some mango in just a little bit of time. And again, great opportunity to come and see this pavilion. Shows are happening 6:45, 8:15, and 9:45. It's one of 38 pavilions, and we've been a pleasure to show as many of them as we can between the morning show and our evening news this week. So stay tuned on CTV Morning Live for some more great conversations coming up in just a few minutes' time.
It's so great to learn to see how other people celebrate their own culture. Thank you, Joseph. Out on the rooftop now, it looks pretty calm out there. Lots of sunshine. A little bit of a breeze, though, actually.
A little bit of a breeze, yeah. You're most definitely going to notice that little bit of a breeze. But slightly cooler temperatures. And this is great news. I mean, Joseph is doing his tour of Folklorama this week. And we know not all of the venues are air-conditioned. And some weeks it really matters and people are headed for those air-conditioned venues. Honestly, with the temperatures expected over the next couple of days, you can go anywhere and have a great time. I was actually out last night with our Mystery Fun Bus. We hit up 2 pavilions. You'll find it all on my Instagram. But a lot of fun to be had. And like I said, some cooler weather. So it's not just the venues that have AC that'll be in high demand. Right now, Mother Nature providing her...
Coming up, we're spending the morning at the Punjab Pavilion. We're going to find out a little bit more on what you can expect when you go visit and what kind of food you can expect to eat. That's coming up.
Next time on the...
Good morning. Let's go back now to Joseph Bernacki, who is live this morning at the Punjab Pavilion. Food, the drink, it's one of my favorite parts of visiting a pavilion. Good morning, Joseph.
Good morning, Rochelle. Yeah, it's been a great morning so far. At this time, I'm pleased to introduce Prabhnur Singh. He's one of the adult ambassadors here at the Pavilion. Thank you so much for your time this morning.
Thank you so much for coming. Sat Shri Akal, everyone.
So we've got a great pairing this morning. We're talking about language and food. What better combination? Talk to me about what Punjab means.
All right, so Punjab itself derives from two words, Panj and Ab, so means 5 waters, because Punjab is the land of 5 rivers that flow through it. So, yes, Punjab means 5 waters.
And we've got a beautiful language display behind us. Talk to me a little bit about what's on display.
Definitely. So Punjab is also known as the land of poets, and we take a lot of pride in our language. And basically behind us we have, in Punjabi, there's 2 scripts, Gurmukhi and Shahmukhi. Gurmukhi is a script that's spoken on the eastern side, the Indian side of Punjab, and Shahmukhi is the one spoken on the western side, the Pakistani Punjab, because Punjab is in 2 parts. Behind us, we have the Gurmukhi script that's spoken in India.
It's really neat how you were able to, design it even on the clothing in the background. No, we really appreciate it. Of course, we have some food in front of us we're going to be talking about a little bit later on the show. There's some delicious drinks in the Punjabi culture. Talk to me a little bit about the mango lassi and what it is.
Definitely. So the mango lassi is actually my personal favorite. It's a seasonal drink that's usually drunk in the summertime, because it's made out of fresh mango pulp, and basically it's a yogurt-based drink with a little bit of yogurt, milk, some cardamom for the flavor, and it's a sweet drink that everyone enjoys during the summertime.
Your colleague was saying it's a great way to try and stay cool too by having something like this.
Definitely. It's like basically a smoothie, a Punjabi smoothie.
And there's the cha, of course, just to the left of us. Talk to me a little bit about this drink.
So in the Western culture, for example, chai, but in Punjabi we call it cha, and it's basically a tea that's made with some milk and water, and we basically boil the tea leaves in the water. We add some spices like cardamoms and cinnamon sticks and sugar to taste, and we make the tea.
Can you use different spices to make it in different flavors of your choice, basically?
Definitely. Everyone has their own preferences, and there's some special masalas, some spices that come with the chai as well, so everyone can make it according to their needs.
Wonderful, Prabhnur. Well, listen, we thank you for your time on the show this morning. We're going to be back at 7:42 in just a few minutes' time, talking about some of the different musical instruments you can catch at a performance here. First show again is tonight at 6:45. Come on down, 1770 King Edward Street.
Sounds good. Okay, thank you, Joseph. Yeah, every time I go to a pavilion, it's the food I look forward to the most. The entertainment's amazing, and the music is great, but it's the food. I just love tasting the different spices, and such an experience.
I agree, and because you can always smell it as soon as you walk in. It's not like you can smell the performances. You have to wait for that, but you smell the food, and then you're just waiting to get a chance to taste it. All right, taking a look outside.
Thank you, Terry. Let's go back now to Joseph Bernacki, who's live this morning at the Punjab Pavilion, and music is a big part of the shows. Good morning, Joseph.
Good morning, Rochelle. Yeah, you can't have Folklorama without some great music. I'm joined by 3 of the performers here you can find at the Punjab Pavilion. I'm very pleased to be joined by Aman Hathur. He's going to talk to me about some of these instruments. Also in the background, we have Kennedy Gill and Vijay Yamla. Gentlemen, thank you for your time this morning.
Thank you. Thank you so much for coming.
Talk to me a little bit about some of the instruments here that are used in these traditional performances.
All right. So first of all, we're going to start with the thumbi. That's like a string instrument. So that thumbi instrument that was invented by Vijay Jamla's grandfather. So like it's a string instrument, like it gives like a really nice rhythm in the bhangra and also like in the different songs. And then we have a dafli over here. So it's also like a kind of like a music instrument that's like recently played like in the most of the recordings, Indian music, and also in the bhangra. And here we have like a dhol. That's the major folk instrument, and that's derived from like a Sanskrit word, and it's called dhola, like in the Sanskrit. And it's a double-headed drum, like it has a bass on the one side and a treble on the one side, gives like a really loud and a deep rhythm in the bhangra. And then as you guys can see, like we have a different instruments over there. So that's like another version, like sitting over there is a thumbi. It's called like a smaller version of another version of a thumbi, gives like a different sound. And then we have a bugdu, and then we have a tad. Yeah, that's all like a combination of all the rhythms in the bhangra music.
Kennedy and Vijay, if you'd like to play a little bit in the background, please. We'd love to hear for our viewers this morning. Aman, tell me, why these instruments are used and where in Punjabi culture?
So those instruments like are used like on the different occasions as well, like on the festival. So like most of the time, so we play it on the Baisakhi. So that's the one of the like a major and the biggest folk festival. And also like now we have a Folklorama in Canada where we play like those different musics. And we started it from like the university level because Vijay Jamla He's playing it like from almost 16 years. It's like a huge experience like he's sharing with us. And yeah, like that's pretty much about it. And then people used to play like as a hobby too. And yeah, now we're playing it over here.
Well, gentlemen, we appreciate all of your time this morning, getting to show off these unique and wonderful instruments. We're going to be back at 8:06 talking about some of the food you can enjoy at the pavilion, and it's going to be a great morning. Keep it locked on CTV Morning Live.
Thank you, Joseph. All right, coming up, Joseph Bernacki is live at Folklorama this morning. He's telling us about the Punjab Pavilion. We're going to find out a little bit more about this delicious food. Go back now to Joseph Bernacki, who is spending the morning at the Punjab Pavilion. We are getting a tour of Folklorama, and now you're going to show us some delicious food.
You know, Rochelle, we're combining history and food, two of my favorite subjects to talk about on TV. I'm very pleased to be joined at this time by Nishu Gumber. She's the Cultural Display Chairperson, and I have Arvind Mathuru. He is the Health and Safety Chairperson. Thank you both for your time this morning.
You're welcome.
Yeah.
You're welcome.
Yeah, talk to me a little bit about, we're talking about history first. The Golden Temple off to our left, very historic and wonderful place in India. What it signifies?
Okay. So first of all, that small model there on the other side, that's the Darbar Sahib or Golden Temple, all those words for the stand. That stand for the House of God, and it was built in 1577 by Guru Ramdas. This is the holiest place of the Sikhs, and it's in the northern part of the city of Amritsar in Punjab. And the best part about this one is this is open to all public from any background. That's why it has got 4 doors. And there are steps that go down there. The indication is that it brings humbleness to the people.
And there's is it so many hours per day that you can hear hymns and song?
That is correct. Almost about 20 hours of hymns singing takes place. That is known as kirtan. It's a very spiritual environment there. And most important thing is the langar there, because that is like, you know, more than 100,000 people get served free food at no cost to them.
And Nishu, we're talking a little bit about the lovely food in front of us this morning. Talk to me about what a samosa is, of course, very popular here in the city.
Yes, the samosa is the crispiest as well as the good street food. So basically it's made up of dough, and we deep fry it and filled with the spicy potatoes as well as the peas. So it depends on what kind of samosa we want. So we can make it, and then people can eat it.
And what would you pair it with beside it?
Yeah, so we can make it with the chickpeas curry. And so it's very filling, as well as it has some proteins also. And moreover, to digest it, so we can pair it with the imli chutney, tamarind sauce, as well as coriander and mint chutney.
Well, it looks absolutely delicious, Nishu. We appreciate your time on the show this morning. We got to wrap up this segment, but again, come on down to the Punjabi Cultural Pavilion, 1770 King Edward Street for the pavilion.
That does look delicious. Thank you, Joseph. Back one last time to the Punjab Pavilion with Joseph Bernacki. Good morning, Joseph.
Good morning, Rochelle. Yeah, you know, it's been a great morning all day here today at the Punjabi Cultural Pavilion. Very pleased to be joined by Anmol Singh. He's one of the adult ambassadors for the Punjab Pavilion. Thank you for your time this morning.
Thank you so much for having me.
Yeah, talk to our viewers if they're just tuning in this morning. Give us an overview of what they can expect if they come on down here this week.
Yes, for sure. We do have a cultural display which showcases our instruments, our folk, and our cultural attire. You can also get your name written in Punjabi. So that's our language display there. We also have, you can also get your turban tied as well on your head to showcase the significance and the importance of the turban itself. Yeah, and the food, and the food as well. You can also enjoy some amazing food here, which is by King of India. So the lassi, the snacks, the meals, and everything else.
And it wouldn't be a Folklorama without dance. Talk to us a little bit about Bhangra, traditional folk dance, and what we're going to see in just a moment.
Definitely. So Bhangra on its own was a traditional dance. It was meant for a harvest. So when we cut the crops, that's when we celebrate. So, and now we have our vibrant colors to showcase our happiness.
Well, thank you, Anmol. I understand we're going to see a performance now. So we're going to hear some music, and we're going to see the lovely junior youth dancers to our right. Take it away, everybody. Perfect.
of the day.
It really is. I mean, yesterday he showed off the Ghana Pavilion. Today, Punjab. I was yesterday at the Belgian Pavilion and the First Nations Pavilion. If you want a glimpse of that, it's on my Instagram. But all week long, we're just going to be making these stops around the world, and you don't even have to deal with that plane ticket. You're not racking up the credit card. You're just getting a taste of so many different cultures all right here at home. Very fun. And I was saying earlier, sometimes those air-conditioned venues are sought out and in high demand. Well, the temperatures are cool enough over the next couple of days that you could visit any pavilion and be very, very comfortable. We're at 17 degrees.
Chocolate, cycling, and Smurfs. I'm Taylor Brock at Folklorama. Still to come, we will lace together some of the beautiful parts of the Belgian Pavilion right here in St. Boniface.
Our globe-trotting tour, courtesy of Folklorama, takes us to Western Europe this afternoon. CTV's Taylor Brock joins us now live from the Belgian Club. So, Taylor, how are things looking over there?
Well, I'm learning a lot about Belgium just within the past minute that we've been chatting. So many things that I didn't know, thanks to Coral, who has been explaining all the different intricacies of this culture, particularly when it comes to lace. Can you tell me a little bit more about how this has become such a big part of Belgian culture?
Absolutely. So a lot of Belgian culture is things that we've taken from someone else and we've made it our own or kept it. So in Belgian lace, we have these cushions here, and the top part spins and you have all the pins on it there. And then at the bottom you have the different bobbins. So you just flip the bobbins back and forth to create super intricate patterns, and it's gorgeous. So it originally came from Italy, made its way over to us in the 1600s, and we're the only country left that actually keeps this tradition going.
Are you holding an example that you've done?
I wish. I would love to learn this. But this is just one of the many different samples that we have for sale at the pavilion this year. And it's a gorgeous example of what you can do with just some fine, fine thread and a handful of bobbins.
Maybe a good glasses prescription, too.
Yeah.
There's another part about Belgian culture that I was shocked by that I probably shouldn't have been. I probably should have known this. You have a bit of an iconic character or a group of characters.
Absolutely. We actually have two, and everyone either goes, oh yeah, I knew that was Belgian, awesome, or I had no clue. And the main one is the Smurfs. So Les Schtroumpfs are 3 apples tall. They were created by Belgian artist Pierre Kieffer, and yeah, they're one of the biggest icons, especially cartoon-wise, in Belgian history. And joining them, we also have Tintin is from Belgium as well. So we have a little bit of both, and it's a lot of fun. So you have all the cartoons.
And you know, naming these people, you can even just hear how their Belgian cultures. You know, there's French, there's Flemish, there's just a bunch of different things floating around. How do you keep it straight?
Lots of years of practice, basically. Everything is, like Flemish, for example, is a little bit of French and a little bit of Dutch. So we're French, we're Dutch, we're German, we're a little bit of everything, but we've made it our own.
I like that. Well, this is a great spot to get a little bit of everything. And coming up in the 6 o'clock show, we'll show you what you can eat and what you can dance to, Catherine.
Belgian waffles, chocolate? Is that perhaps on the menu?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, sign me up. Okay, thank you, Taylor.
Got it all covered.
Oh, I'm excited. Thanks so much for that. It's a country known for fries, waffles, chocolate, and beer, some of my favorite things. And this week, Winnipeggers can learn all about Belgium at Folklorama's Belgian Pavilion. CTV's Taylor Brock joins us now live from the Belgian Club. So, Taylor, what does the pavilion have planned for tonight?
Well, right now it is buzzing as people get ready to not just enjoy the food, the beer, the chocolate, as you mentioned, but also the dancing. I have the Belgian folk dancers of Winnipeg with me right now who are going to teach me a step. Hopefully I do it justice. So tell me a little bit more about what you're about to show me.
So this is a dance. It's called Danse Foudrie. It's mostly performed with 3 dancers, and one of the steps that we learned to do is called the long step. Okay. So it's so you hold your feet, one crosses behind, and then you take a step, and you do like 3 steps. Then you step back with that leg, go backwards, and then do the other 3 steps. But it's like That's one of the main steps in our dance.
Okay, I'm gonna try it. I'm not gonna do it anywhere as nicely as you did, but we'll give it a go. Okay, so what's that first move?
So you put your right leg behind, then you take your left leg and do 3 little steps. And then you take your right leg, put your left leg and cross it behind, and then take your right leg and do the 3 little steps.
Okay. Do you have to do the 3 little steps in any particular order?
It's
right, left, right.
Yeah, right, left, left. Right. Yeah.
Okay, let's try. Okay.
So.
Okay, I like it. I appreciate the slow pace. I'm guessing you folks do it a little quicker than that. Can you show us what this actually is supposed to look like?
Yeah.
Okay, whenever you're ready.
Like the whole dance?
Yeah.
Okay.
Lessons, Taylor, and you could be right up there with them. So keep at it.
Maybe next year.
Maybe, yes. Keep at it, Taylor. Okay, we'll check in with you a little bit later. Thanks, Colleen. Our trip around the world continues tonight with a stop in Western Europe. This week, Winnipeggers can learn all about Belgium at Folklorama's Belgian Pavilion. Let's check in with CTV's Taylor Brock, who's live at the Belgian Club. So, Taylor, what's going on there tonight?
I think you would be very excited about what we're about to talk about, Belgian waffles, but not just Belgian waffles, the entire menu. We've got a few items over here that Coral who is going to introduce us to, because there are a couple of items that I don't think I've ever seen before and I think need a little bit of explaining. So first off, can you tell me about what's in this peach?
So péchoton, or peaches and tuna, is one of my favorite things to eat at the pavilion. A lot of people stay away from it because it's a little weird, but it's delicious. So it's just half a peach and some tuna, sometimes with mayonnaise, sometimes without, just on top of it. And I think it's the salty sweet that really does it. It's delicious. Okay. And of course, we love our seafood. So with tuna, we go to the tomato crevette.
You know, I don't think I would have imagined this dish. Can you tell me a little bit more about this?
So tomato crevette, or shrimp-filled tomato, is another bizarre but delicious treat. And it comes from the town of Oostenkerk in Belgium, which is just on the border of the North Sea. And they have a fun, interesting UNESCO World Heritage Act, and they have the only horseback shrimp fishermen in the world. So there are 12 families in Oostenkerk who have different specialties. So one of the families specializes in raising draft horses, one of them weaves the nets. They all have something different that they do. So they ride the Brabants draft horses, which are characterized by how stocky they are, and they have fluted fur around their hooves so they can keep a little more insulated in the water. They ride them in until they're about chest deep, and then they just ride through the surf. Okay. And they have a chain that drags along on the bottom that causes vibrations that make the shrimp just jump into the nets.
And that's exactly what we get here. I think we're running out of time, but there is another sweet spot. We have got a couple of different desserts, including the Belgian waffle. And I think, you know, since we're running out of time, we'll have to let people come and taste these for themselves. Catherine, I don't know if you've got dinner plans, but your Belgian waffles are on the menu.
All I'm hearing, Taylor, is you're bringing me leftovers back to the newsroom. So, yeah.
Maybe.
I think that's a confirmation.
We have a fridge, so that'll help us out a little.
All right, thanks for this, Taylor.
Akwaba. I'm Tintea, one of the youth ambassadors of the Ghana Pavilion. Experience the enchanting allure of Ghana through energetic dances, vibrant colors, and revolutionary creations that showcase the rich traditions of the ancient Gold Coast.
Spotlight, sponsored by the Casinos of Winnipeg, presenting Marty Stewart.
We continue our trip around the world with a stop at Folklorama's Punjab Pavilion. High-energy dances and music mixed with vibrant colors and tasty foods highlight this pavilion. Organizers invite you to snack on samosas and curry, take pictures with the cultural display, and learn more about traditional dress.
In India, every part of the body people used to decorate. You can see the bindi and the tikka and in the necklace, earrings. So matching is always preference for them, and the vibrant color, so people can feel so much good energy and positivity.
There are 3 shows a night with an additional late-night show on Friday and an early one on Saturday. You can catch the Punjab Pavilion at the Punjab Cultural Center on King Edward Street. A percussion.
But before we go, we're going to check in one more time at Folklorama's Belgian Pavilion, where the first performance of the night has just begun. Oh my goodness. Oh, have a good night.
The summer. Placing together cultures. Still to come, the Folklorama Pavilion celebrating its eclectic roots, and we'll break down. Finally, for us tonight, the land of lace, Smurfs, and chocolate. We leave you with the sights and sounds of Folklorama's Belgian Pavilion. Thank you for watching, and good night.
All right, let's go to Joseph Bernacki now, who is live this morning around another pavilion, another Folklorama pavilion. Good morning, Joseph.
Yeah, it's been a great week as we're celebrating Folklorama here at the RBC Convention Center, where they're home to a few pavilions. Today we're with the First Nations Pavilion here on the 2nd floor. You can come check it out. We've got a great cultural display behind me. Coming up in about half an hour's time, we're going to be speaking with the First Nations Pavilion Coordinator, doing a little bit of a bannock making demonstration, which is really exciting. It's really nice. They have an early show today, of course. It starts at 5:15, which is a great opportunity. Bring your family. Check out a few pavilions that are on display here. And really great time so far, covering so many different pavilions, both on the morning show and of course the evening news this week, trying to bring as many, as much coverage as we can to all these great, there's 38 pavilions of course with Folklorama, and we're celebrating its 53rd year, so really exciting to continue the longevity. Our speaker this morning has been with Folklorama for 24 years, so she brings a wealth of knowledge in First Nations and Indigenous culture, and we'll be back shortly here on CTV Morning Live.
Okay, thank you, Joseph. Out on the rooftop, Terry, don't miss out. Share your summer with us. All right, coming up after the break, Joseph Bernacki continues his journey with Folklorama. We're going to find out a little bit more about the cultural display at the First Nations Pavilion. Let's go now to Joseph Bernacki, who is live this morning at the First Nations Pavilion. Good morning, Joseph.
Good morning, Rochelle. Yeah, we're at the RBC Convention Center today celebrating the First Nations Pavilion. I'm very pleased to be joined by their coordinator, Buffy Handel. She's going to be with us all morning long. Thanks for your time this morning.
Good morning, and good morning, Rochelle.
Yeah, so we've got a bannock making demonstration this morning. Buffy, how do we start?
Well, we want to obviously make sure that all of the ingredients is present. And again, bannock and fry bread, there's so many different variations, and it's according to tribe. But in Manitoba, it's very well known to have bannock. And this style of bannocks that we're going to be making today, we have our flour, we have our water, we have our baking powder, just a pinch of salt, and then, of course, lard.
Nice.
Yeah. And so what I'm going to get you to do is we're going to hand this over to you. So we don't put the water first. We actually put and this is measured out already. We're going to put 6 cups of flour.
So add these into the bowl right now?
Correct.
Okay.
And so when we start adding the flour, you're actually going to notice that flour, even though it looks white at the time, you're going to notice that there's a huge color difference when you add. So this is the baking powder.
Okay.
And so you're going to go ahead and sprinkle that right across. Very good. And you see the color difference already, right?
Yes.
And so that is obviously, we want to be able to make sure that we're creating a good mixture. So we want to be able to use our hands, and we want to make sure that this gets mixed up very nicely. And sometimes when you're working with the flour, you're going to notice that you're going to feel a little bit of clumps, and you just want to be able to break that apart. And typically, I mean, these are just very plain ingredients, but typically, again, depending on what territory you're from, or if you're feeding children, or if you have, you're blending it with a different type of meat. Like here, we have the blueberry ribs, short ribs that are bison. What we would typically do is maybe even potentially add caraway seeds, which we would soak in hot water first to bring that seed alive. Nice. And then we would incorporate that in. So the next thing to go in is we want to be able to do the pinch of salt. So go ahead and pour that in. Good.
Okay.
And then we're going to use lard. And typically people they look at lard and they go, "Oh, you're adding that?" It's an ingredient that people don't realize how valuable it actually is. I would actually prefer using lard over something like any of the type of oils, unless it's like olive oil.
Do we just take the spoon and just take...
Go ahead and clump it in there and just throw it right in there.
That really sticks to the
I
point.
kind of almost feel tempted to...
Buffy, we're
going to switch roles.
Our segment is wrapping up, but we're going to check in with an update later on the show, and
we'll get your hands dirty.
Yeah,
hurry up.
We'll be back here at the First Nations Pavilion coming up on CTV Morning Live.
Buffy knows how to hold a mic. She used to work here. Thank you so much, and hello, Buffy. Back to you. Out on the rooftop.
Don't be afraid to get your hands dirty. Come on.
Get in there.
And move this along.
Thanks, Paul. Let's go now to Joseph Bernacki, who is live this morning at the First Nations Pavilion. Lots going on there this week.
Good morning, Rochelle. Yes, and good morning, Manitoba. If you're just joining us this morning, we're having a great time so far here inside the RBC Convention Center with the First Nations Pavilion. Earlier in the 6 o'clock hour, we were doing a bannock making demonstration. A little bit of an update here. As you can see, the one I was working on this morning, and of course the one Buffy Handel was working on this morning. She's going to be joining us again for some more segments coming up this hour. We're going to be talking a little bit about the cultural display behind us as well. It's great for families. They have an early show that starts at 5:15, so you can bring the kids, bring the whole crew down. Of course, multiple shows throughout the evening and the rest of this week. We're just wrapping up the first week of the Folklorama Pavilions. 38 that you can check out, of course. So much to see if you come on down. There's a few happening inside the RBC Convention Center as well. So always great to, come on down, come here for the early show, go to a different pavilion later on. So much to see and do. And keep it locked on CTV Morning Live for more coverage here at the First Nations Pavilion.
Thank you, Joseph. Out on the rooftop now. All right, we're going to continue our journey of the First Nations Pavilion after the break. Let's go back now to the First Nations Pavilion with our Joseph Bernacki this morning. We're talking food now.
Yes, good morning, Rochelle. We're going to be talking about food in a little bit, but we're also talking about some of the great displays part of the show and the cultural display behind me. Buffy Handel joins us again on the show. Thank you for your time this morning.
Good morning.
We have these lovely bustles behind us on these chairs. Talk to me a little bit about their cultural significance, how they're part of a show, and Indigenous culture.
Yeah, so typically it is belonging to a style of dance that they would wear bustles, and there are two different types of styles that are very well known here in Manitoba that utilize bustles. Now, in this particular case, what we have displayed here is it belongs to a fancy bustle dancer. Fancy bustle originated in the Oklahoma area, so in territory-wise, the difference between Canada and the U.S., which now separates us. Native American people or First Nations people, we see no borders, but Winnipeg is an area that is really significant because in the springtime there was a lot of flooding that was happening, so there's many different tribes that would actually come here as a center point for trading. It was very easy to travel by boat, and so this being and originating from the Oklahoma area, it was the trading and the bartering that how it actually made its way up here. So when you take a look at it, I mean, obviously, a bird would not be this huge, right? I mean, of course, you see some eagles that have a huge wingspan, but there is actually an extension here where then you have the turkey feathers, and these are what we call spikes, and they're just dyed. And so this particular set here was specifically made for the youth coordinator, and these are his spiritual colors. And so you have a certain number of feathers that are rode, and a lot of people think that it's very, very heavy, but it's actually quite light. And the reason for that is because when a fancy dancer is dancing, you're seeing a flow. But they're very, very fast dancers. They have very fast and intricate footwork. And so, again, you have what we call a bustle board. So this is what keeps the feathers all in a row. And then, of course, you have the metal, which is not part of the actual feather work, but is attached to the bustle board. And then in the very center, you actually have what we call the bustle spreader, and it's what keeps the feathers fanned out the way that it is. So,
Buffy, the detailing is absolutely beautiful. This segment is coming to a quick wrap. She's gonna join us again in about 10 minutes time here on CTV Morning Live. We're gonna be talking about a hoop dance and more that you can see here from the First Nations Pavilion.
I was at that pavilion just the other night. Honestly, it was incredible. The performance was jaw-dropping performances. Worth checking out. I have that up on my Instagram. Not sure if it's still there. Anyway, outside.
Thank you, Terry. Going back to Joseph now, who's live this morning at the First Nations Pavilion. Good morning, Joseph.
Good morning, Rochelle. Yes, and good morning, Winnipeg, if you're just joining us this morning. We're having a great time here at the First Nations Pavilion. As Rochelle mentioned, I'm joined this morning again by Buffy Handel. Thank you so much for being here all morning long.
Yeah, it's a pleasure to be here, and of course, we're always very proud of our culture and being able to share it.
And it's wonderful to see so many different performers here at the pavilion. The hoop dance, very important to what you have on display. Talk to me about what's in your hands.
It's actually a crowd pleaser. I know that if we were to ever cut the hoop dance out of any of the shows, people would probably be upset because it is a very unique dance, and it's definitely a crowd pleaser. And so, yeah, this morning I'm going to teach you a little bit about hoop dancing.
So for people who have never seen this before, talk to me about the significance of these 5 rings.
So there's the first 4 hoops, and these hoops were originally made out of red willow, and this dance was typically done by medicine men only, and so this originated in the East and West Pueblo. So once again, it's not very common in the territory back then, but it is now. But the hoop dance, the 4 original ones, it's actually a part of a medicine wheel teaching, so there's always a balance between the mind, the body, the spirit, and of course the emotions, north, south, east, west, and it's very much a way for us to be able to tell stories, and it's not just made-up stories, but it's rather through vision. And so a medicine man would typically go off and separate himself from his people and, fast for 4 days and 4 nights and come back, and whatever vision or that strong dream was, instead of retelling the story through words, he would retell the story by interconnecting the hoops. So this here, again, there's different formats, and I'll show you one that always seems to be a very good crowd pleaser. Is when you're dancing, you have to carry the rhythm of the song. And you're kind of like a little bit of a magician, right? So, of course, you don't want to typically just kind of stand in one spot, so you add a little bit of a spin, and away you go.
Cool.
Yeah. So this is, can you guess what this is?
It's a bird.
A bird.
Yeah.
What kind of bird is best symbolized with First Nations?
I'd imagine eagle.
There you go. And then, of course, you want to be able to take another little bit of a shape. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull it over my head. And so what do you see?
A butterfly?
Or a flower.
Or a flower.
Or a basket. Right?
Could be a number of interpretations, right?
Exactly,
Yeah.
exactly. And so what we always see is that, and what is always very nice for a hoop dancer is that when there is a beautiful shape or they like something that a hoop dancer has done, the best way to compliment a hoop dancer while they're hoop dancing is by clapping. Right, so some people, they get a little scared, like, I don't know if I want to see that, or they can't help themselves and just go ahead and do it anyway. But hoop dancers, they absolutely love it. It rejuvenates an energy while they're dancing. I love hoop dancing.
We're out of time for this segment,
Okay,
Buffy.
here we
I'm
go.
so sorry. But again, you can catch the first show here at 5:15. Of course, it's the First Nations Pavilion. We'll be back in the 8 o'clock hour with more about their cultural display.
Buffy, I'm clapping for you. Thank you for that. Let's go back now to Joseph Bernacki, who's been telling us about the First Nations Pavilion live at the RBC Convention Center. Good morning, Joseph.
Good morning, Rochelle, and good morning, Winnipeg, if you're just joining us. Yeah, we're at the First Nations Pavilion. We've had a great morning. We've got a really cool demonstration here in their cultural display. Buffy Handel joins us again this morning. Thank you so much for your time. Talk to me a little bit about this moss bag in front of you and what it's used for in First Nations daily use.
Yeah, so being a mother myself and obviously a grandmother, I've gotten pretty good at doing the wrapping. So what we have down here is a display of a moss bag, and then what we have here is it's a baby board, but in my language we say tikanagan. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you a little bit. Now obviously the demo baby is a lot smaller. It's kind of like the size of a preemie, but again, I just want to be able to show a quick concept of how we actually wrap our babies. And so what we would have, and typically we would use moss, but I mean obviously through time, and moss is wonderful. It's actually a really good way to keep baby clean, and it's an antiseptic. So antibacterial. So what we would always do is we want to always make sure that there is some padding that goes between the legs, because we want to make sure that the ankles and the knees are actually parallel and adjacent to the shoulder length. And so we would make sure that there was the padding between the legs. And then we would start wrapping the baby's legs, and we want to make sure that they're nice and straight. And of course, baby, you know, they love being wrapped. It's something that, you know, people think that, you know, that's torturous, but it's not. You see that there's so much padding happening here. And so as we're wrapping, we start at the lower half, and then obviously we're going to pull this up, and the lace kind of comes together.
Tied together?
Yeah, and of course, you know, as we kind of develop a little bit more practice, we learn how to lace a lot quicker and holding the baby. Usually when a baby is about maybe 4 months old, they start putting their arms down themselves, so you don't even have to really do anything. It's so sweet, and they start falling asleep usually about here when you start lacing. But again, what you want to do is you want to bring the arms down on the baby just to make sure that they're nice and tucked, and making sure that their hands are nice and flush. You grab one corner of the half-folded embroidery piece and you fold it over in between underneath the armpit, so that if they get sweaty, it'll actually get absorbed by the cloth. Same thing on the other side. Now, if you take a look at the fold here, I'm doing it very close to the neck, and the reason why I'm doing it close to the neck is that if the baby happens to burp up from the milk, it'll trickle down, but then it's caught, so it's not actually staying within the wrinkle or the fold of the neck, and so it keeps them very clean.
We're shortly wrapping up this segment, but we have the tikanagan here, of course, which is the finished product we'd be putting the baby in. We're going to be back at 8:38 to show this and more in the cultural display, so stay tuned here live from the First Nations Pavilion.
Oh, that baby's sleeping already. Okay, thank you, Joseph. Going back to the First Nations Pavilion with our Joseph Bernacki this morning. Good morning, Joseph.
Good morning, Rochelle. Yeah, it's been a great morning here inside the RBC Convention Center, giving a preview, of course, all week here of the First Nations Pavilion. Buffy Handel's been a gracious host for us this morning. Thank you so much for your time.
Yeah, you've done a lot of learning. I almost feel like giving you a treaty card. Not quite.
Maybe not quite. But listen, you've got a great cultural display that you've worked hard to put together, a number of teepees here with something different in each one. Walk us through. We'll do a little walk and talk of what we're seeing this morning, starting with what's behind us.
Yeah, so this particular teepee here is kind of like the food-making teepee, even though we're not actually making food in here. A lot of little kids are really enjoying the experience of being able to come in, and then when they look up, they actually see what that a smoking teepee would look like. So you would go and smoke your fish or smoke your different types of meat. And of course, First Nations are really well known for their pemmican making. And then of course we have the wonderful Winston Watney. He does such an amazing job. This is the little dance floor that all of the kids, guaranteed, they're dancing in. Again, another local artist had made this. This is our fire pit over here from Selkirk, Manitoba. And then reaching over to this tent, kids absolutely love it. They get to explore in the small tent, dance a little bit with Winston Watney, and then they get and head into this teepee, and we actually have a young lady sitting in here. All the children, they get to come in and make a friendship bracelet. And so, yeah, children have been really loving their experience being in this one. We obviously have one more teepee over here that is open to the public. They love being able to come in, and it's the extension of the Mossbag and Tikanagan. And of course, there's a little what we call meme inside. And it's like what you were saying earlier when we were visiting is that's kind of like a baby hammock. So comfortable. I know that, you know, again, it's a place where children can come, they can come and play with the artifacts. And then as we transition, we have Wally Chartrand, who is our cultural chair member. He's specifically standing here, and he normally has some of his ceremonial stuff like rattles set up here, but this is actually a sweat lodge. And so he wanted to be able to give a couple of traditional teachings on the sweat lodge. You see that it's dome-shaped as opposed to the teepees, but the dome shape is actually representation of the womb of Mother Earth. So you go in and you have cleansing. So it's really, really wonderful.
Well, listen, Buffy, we really appreciate your time on the show this morning. Again, their first show starts at 5:15 here inside the second floor of the RBC Convention Center.
That's our second show.
Oh, second show. Okay. Well, and we'll be back with more Folklorama coverage this whole week. Stay tuned.
Thank you, Joseph. I learned so much today, Terry, from that Folklorama.
So educational.
Yes,
and I mentioned I was there the other night. It was posted all over my Instagram. Honestly, they were some of the most breathtaking performances that I have ever seen at a Folklorama pavilion. So moving, so entertaining. It's worth checking out. And it's right here downtown, so very accessible for those of you that are in the downtown area, but there's also a lot of parking in and around, especially that time of night. So worth going to see for sure. All right, let's
Traveling to a tropical vacation, how you can switch to island time without leaving the city, and we'll break down. And finally for us tonight, whether it was on the dance floor or in the kitchen, the Africa Caribbean Pavilion brought the heat tonight. We leave you now with the sights and sounds of this Folklorama stop. Thank you for watching, and good night.
All right, let's go now to Joseph Bernacki, who is at the Scandinavian Pavilion this morning. Looking good, Joseph.
Thanks, Rochelle. Good morning, Winnipeg, and good morning, CTV. Yeah, you know, we're going to have a great time here today at the Scandinavian Cultural Centre. We're just on Erin Street, not too far from Portage Avenue, where we're celebrating 5 different countries, really, in one show today, which is really exciting. Cameraman Scott's showing the Swedish-themed room here inside the Scandinavian Cultural Centre. So we're celebrating 5 cultural backgrounds this morning. We've got Sweden, Norway, Denmark, Finland, and Iceland, of course. And coming up throughout the show today, in about half an hour's time, we're going to be speaking about the some of the different cultural displays that you can see here. The shows tonight, the 6:45 and 8:15 are sold out, but there's still some tickets available for 9:45, and of course, show times tomorrow. I'm channeling my inner Minnesota Vikings fandom this morning, of course, wearing this Viking helmet, of course, with no horns, because again, traditionally, Viking helmets did not have horns. Fun fact. Another fun fact we learned this morning, the Bluetooth symbol that you have on all your devices actually originates from our Norwegian Bluetooth rune, or it was a king at the time, all these different symbols. So lots of fun facts for you this morning. Keep it locked on CTV Morning Live for your Friday morning.
I'm looking forward to the sword fight you're about to have with Scott Anderson. All right, thank you, Joseph.
Not just your average tinfoil hat. That will protect you good.
Exactly. We'll take summer with us. Coming up, we're going back to Joseph Bernacki, who is live this morning at the Scandinavian Pavilion. We'll have more coming up. Let's go back now to Joseph Bernacki, who is live this morning at the Scandinavian Pavilion. You're taking us around the cultural display, Joseph.
I certainly am, Rochelle. Good morning, Winnipeg. At this time, I'm very pleased to be joined by Selma Parsons. She's going to be joining us for a couple of segments this morning. She's the cultural coordinator here at the Pavilion. Thank you so much for your time this morning.
Welcome to the Scandinavian Centre and the Scandinavian Pavilion.
Thank you so much. Yes. We're having a lot of fun so far this morning. Yeah.
Well, yes. Would you like to see a little bit of our display here?
I would love to. If you want to walk us through some of these individual items that cameraman Scott's going to show, talk to me about this Viking Lego set. It's fascinating.
Yes. Well, you know, of course, that Lego is Danish. It actually means leg godt, which means play well, and it's from Denmark. So very appropriate that we have a Viking village that someone has put together.
And your volunteer, you were telling me, put together the ship just in behind the Lego set.
Yes,
tell me about that as well.
Volunteer. This is actually a very accurate replica of a Viking longship, including the shields along there. It took about, I think, 180 hours to put that together. We use that for our children's program here.
Lovely.
And we also have here direct from Iceland, of course, where a lot of the information about the Vikings came was from the Icelandic sagas, and this is actually a replica of one of the pages from the Icelandic sagas telling the story of Eric the Red. And then if you can continue on, we have, of course, what everybody loves, and you got to wear earlier on, we have our Viking helmet without the horns.
You know, one of the things we were going to mention, it's really amazing how strong people from that time era had to be. I mean, I had that on my head half an hour ago. You really feel the weight of it.
Well, yeah, you know, like you really would have had to be really strong, because when you get that, you get the chainmail, you get the shield and the sword. You had to be strong just to stand up. Like I've tried it. It's really heavy.
There's the tunic as well.
The tunic as well. It's based on the style of the Viking tunics, complete with the gold trim, because this person was showing off their wealth a little bit.
Lots of stuff happening in the case before we wrap up this segment. Tell us about a few of the things on display.
Well, I know you like the board game Naftotafel. It's actually a Viking era board game, still played today by people. It's strategic like chess. You can find it on the internet. And we have replica coins. We have iron from Lanza Meadows in Newfoundland. We have a rune stone. We have jewelry.
It's
all here.
Very encapsulating. No, thank you so much for this introduction, Selma. Of course, she's going to be joining us in the 7 o'clock hour here from the Scandinavian Pavilion. The first 2 shows are sold out tonight. Still tickets available for the 9:45. Come on down here on Erin Street.
Okay, thank you for this, Joseph. Out on the roof. All right, let's go back now to Joseph Bernacki, who's live this morning at the Scandinavian Pavilion. Good morning, Joseph.
Good morning, Rochelle, and good morning, Winnipeg. Yeah, you know, this has been a great way to spend our Friday at CTV Morning Live here at the Scandinavian Cultural Center for the Scandinavian Pavilion. We're in one of the themed rooms that we had a chance to show earlier on the show this morning. This is the Finnish room. So a lot of cool artifacts, displays here of celebrating the Finnish culture, of course. Coming up throughout the 7 o'clock hour, we've got some really cool segments. We're going to have a musician showing us the nyckelharpa. It's an instrument that actually has Swedish and Italian roots going back as far as 1350s. So, you know, 700, 800 years ago. Pretty cool. I've never seen an instrument before. It looks really, really neat. We've also got this really neat language tree talking about all the different Scandinavian languages. Really interesting to note some of the distinctions. Of course, you have your Danish, Norwegian, and Swedish, which trace, you know, a North Germanic base, whereas Finnish, like the room we're in, it's unique to the Uralic trait, very similar to Hungarian. So a little bit of language learning this morning, of course, as well. So keep it locked on CTV Morning Live for some more great conversations.
I love learning about the history of languages. Okay, thank you, Joseph.
Travel around the world without the plane ride. Folklorama is on August 4th to 17th.
Enjoy hospitality, cultural foods, music, dance, and more. Plan your adventure at folklorama.ca.
Sponsored by the Casinos of Winnipeg.
Let's go back now to Joseph Bernacki, who is live at the Scandinavian Pavilion this morning. Lots going on there, lots to see and lots to enjoy, Joseph.
There certainly is, Rochelle. Yeah, good morning, Winnipeg. If you're just joining us, I'm very pleased to be joined once again by Selma Parsons. She joined us in the 6 o'clock hour, and her colleague, Mandy Fernie, who's going to be joining us later on in the show. Selma, what's Mandy currently working on right now?
Well, she's spinning the yarn. Everything had to be made by hand and by people in the village, so she is spinning the yarn, and then after that's been spun, which is fascinating to watch, you would take it to the loom, and you would have to turn it into cloth, because the Vikings, they used either linen or wool to make their clothing. That was the native ones. They also did import fabrics from other countries, but your sails for your ships would be done on these looms like this. It's a weighted loom. This is a replica of the style they had. They would have been much larger. If you were doing a sail, it would be the size of your room. You know, it would be the length of that. And in fact, it was very labor intensive. It took a long time. It would take you, when they started to build a ship, which took about 3 years, they would start the sails, because it would take that long to do the sail for it.
It's really remarkable, as you said. This wasn't just used for ordinary garments. I mean, this was used for ships that were going to carry them across the ocean.
Exactly, yeah. You know, they had special sheep that they had lots of lanolin in their wool, so that a sail didn't get all soggy and wet like your wool sweater. But they used it for a lot of things. Blankets, everything they needed that was cloth and that wasn't made from animal fibers.
You know, we have Mandy, of course, working on a more modern approach in the background. Would it still be possible, though, to use something like this today? You know, just...
Well, yeah, actually, people do still do it as a hobby, because this is actually, the drop spindle is what they would have used. They would have used a very similar one to what she is using there, and people today still do it, where, you know, other than the ones that are using the loom, or like the spinning wheel, like, you know, you think of the spinning wheel, which is more modern as opposed to the Viking times when they would have been using this. And of course, then there's the modern looms. So people still do this. They just use slightly different equipment to do it.
Wonderful. Well, we appreciate your background and knowledge on this, of course, Selma, and Mandy, who's going to be joining us in the 8 o'clock hour as well. In just a few minutes, we're going to be having a musician here at the Scandinavian Pavilion. So stay tuned for our segment at 7:42 and another conversation.
Okay, thank you, Joseph. And learning about weaving was cool, but now we're going to have some music with Joseph at the Scandinavian Pavilion. Good morning, Joseph.
We certainly are, Rochelle. Yes, good morning. I love featuring local musicians on our show. Very pleased to be joined by Carol Gunvoldson. She has a lovely instrument called the nyckelharpa with us this morning. Thank you so much for your time, Carol.
You're very welcome.
For people who have never seen this instrument before, introduce us to this wonderful instrument.
Well, this is called a nyckelharp. It is a Swedish instrument. It's considered the national instrument of Sweden. It has 4 top strings that I play with my bow, and it has 12 underlying strings that I engage with the keys on the side that you see.
You've been playing. You were telling me you've been playing it for a few years. How much fun have you had here this week at the Scandinavian Pavilion, playing with your friends and the band members members of the Silly Tones.
Well, it's always fun playing with the Silly Tones. We do some fun engagements. We've done a lot of things, and this summer, of course, with the Swedish Club having the Midsummer. So we do a lot of things that are inside and outside the center. We've made trips all over Manitoba to play and into the States.
And Selma was telling me, is there a sort of a play on words with the band's name being a reference to herring? Is that right?
Sill means herring, yeah. So Silly Tones, we kind of took from there. A sense of humor, I suppose, but the sill is definitely a fish.
I love it. Well, I understand you're going to play something for us this morning, of course, on the nickel harp. I want to give you some time to show us this beautiful instrument, so please take it away, Carol.
All right.
That sounds absolutely lovely.
That is called Epelbu Gunglat.
Well, listen, Carol, we really appreciate you featuring this on the show this morning. You can come see her. There's still tickets available for the 9:45 show tonight. The first two shows are sold out at the Scandinavian Cultural Center here on Aaron Street. Of course, there's shows tomorrow as well. And we'll be back in the 8 o'clock hour with food and more from the pavilion.
Thank you, Joseph. Check out our website. Thank you, Doctor. All right, coming up, Joseph Bernacki is live at the Scandinavian Pavilion. We're going to find out more. Folklorama. Food is one of my favorite parts about visiting the pavilions, and you are at the Scandinavian kitchen right now. Good morning, Joseph.
I certainly am, Rochelle. Yes, good morning, Manitoba. If you're just joining us, very pleased to be joined by Susan Hjalmarsson. She's the Assistant Food Coordinator here at the Scandinavian Pavilion. Pleasure to have you on our show this morning.
Thank you very much. Pleasure to be.
You've got you've got a lovely mix of Scandinavian desserts in front of us, including this Icelandic crepe. Talk to me a little bit about what's in front of us.
Well, this is called a pannukaka, and it's a traditional Icelandic crepe. Traditionally, we serve it rolled up with sugar inside, served with coffee, but here at the Scandinavian Pavilion, we dress it up a little bit and put some strawberries and whipped cream and raspberry sauce on it.
And I want to point out, you made all these yourself, including this batch. These are fresh from yesterday evening, right?
I made them yesterday afternoon, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What do we got? What do we got in the middle here with the strawberry and the rhubarb?
Well, this is a traditional rice pudding and rhubarb strawberry compote. Those are served in all of the five Nordic countries. On the front is a vinaterta, which is a traditional Icelandic cake, traditional in Manitoba anyway, Icelandic cake. And every Christmas you'll have that on every table.
It kind of almost looks like tiramisu to me. What's the flavor kind of like in the middle?
Oh, it's prunes in the middle, prunes and cinnamon, and the cake layer is it's got a cardamom flavor.
Okay.
Yeah.
You were mentioning before cardamom's used in a lot of Icelandic and different Scandinavian desserts. Is that right?
It's used across the 5 countries use a cardamom in a lot of their sweet treats.
And you've got this really nice cookie sampler here. It features a dessert from all the different cultural centers that are calling this pavilion home. Tell me a little bit about what we're looking at.
Okay, so we have a one cookie from each of our countries, starting with the big round ginger. That's a Swedish ginger cookie, and then beside that is a Finnish ribbon cookie. Icelandic kleiner is like a donut, and then we have a Danish butter cookie, and to finish it off with the chocolate is kranseka, which is a Norwegian marzipan cookie.
Wonderful. Well, listen, Susan, we appreciate your time on the show this morning. All the volunteers have been making this food handmade by scratch. They've got a lot of different sandwiches, Swedish meatballs, of course, a lot of different sampler platters you can try here. So come on down. 9:45, there's still some tickets tonight. The first 2 shows are sold out. And we'll be back with some Swedish dancing and more at 8:38.
Okay, thank you. That looked delicious. Going back one last time to Joseph Bernacki, who's at the Scandinavian Pavilion. Good morning, Joseph.
Good morning, Rochelle, and good morning, Winnipeg. Yeah, we got a really fun segment to wrap up our time at the Scandinavian Pavilion today. Very pleased to be joined again by Mandy Fernie. She's the entertainment coordinator. Pleasure to have you on our show again today.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, talk to our viewers if they haven't been to the Scandinavian Pavilion yet. What can they expect in terms of some entertainment?
Oh, we have a great show. It's really fun this year. Our theme is Vikings back in time, so we'll have time traveled back 1,000 years. And then we have a lot of live music, dancing. We have music upstairs as well, so there's a lot of really fun entertainment here.
You guys are going to be performing in just a short period of time, the Varsuvian. Talk to me a little bit about the heritage of this dance.
Sure. I mean, it's one of our many dances that we do. So this one's from Sweden, but we do typically dances from all the different countries here at the Scandinavian Center. We do a lot of folk dances, so we're just trying to keep those traditions alive. We have 2 dance groups. We've got the young folk dancers, and we've got the fun folk dancers, our adult group. And so here today we've got from both groups dancing together.
Lovely. Well, I understand you're going to be performing with the Varsuvian as well. We've got some music that we're going to cue up. Let's hear it and let's see the Varsuvian. Thank you, Mandy.
What a great thing to be taking in tonight. Like they said, only the late show still has tickets available, but there's plenty of other pavilions to check out, and you don't even need to search out the ones with AC because today is going to be a little bit cooler.
Speaking of the heat, I'm at the Folklorama Pavilion for Mexico. Still to come, we'll show folks not just how to make tamales, but also a cocktail.
Today's best variety.
Our global tour, courtesy of Folklorama, takes us today to the birthplace of guacamole and mariachi. That's right, CTV's Taylor Brock is standing by at the Mexican Pavilion. So Taylor, what do you have in store for us today?
A lot. Good news for folks who are a little hungry. We're learning how to make tamales first. So first of all, can you explain a little bit about what these are?
Hi, and welcome to the Mexican Pavilion. So for you, we have today tamales, which is a traditional Aztec food. And we're going to have Chef Victor Perez showing you all the way from Mexico City how we make tamales. So basically, we have a corn husk that will be filled with corn dough. And then this corn dough gets spread all the way into that corn husk, and then we can have some type of filling. It could be savory or it could be sweet, and we have in this case pork that is already prepared, and then it will go in the middle of the dough, and then he will fold that tamale, and then if you can appreciate from here, we need to make like a little dot because we need to put those ones into a steamer so they get cooked. And as an interesting fact for the pavilion, we made over 5,000 tamales from our friends from La Taqueria, Mexican street tacos, just to have them ready for you at the pavilion. They cook them over in less than a month.
It's a lot of folding.
A lot of folding and a lot of steaming, but really, really good and delicious tamales.
And it looks tough to, I heard it's tough to fold, but it doesn't look tough to fold when you do that.
Well, you know, he's an expert, professional. Yes, and I'm going to pass it over to Ethan, who will do a cocktail that goes really well with these tamales.
Perfect. So tell me about this cocktail. What are we making?
Well, I'm Ethan from Montea Spirits and Wine. We're your local tequila and mezcal experts, and we're really happy and proud to bring for the first time to the Mexican Pavilion mezcal, which is a very important drink culturally from Mexico that dates back to pre-Hispanic times because they're still using the pre-Hispanic oven, which is going to be a cone conical earthen pit where they roast the agaves underground, and after that they'll be shredded, fermented, and distilled into mezcal. So the mezcal.
Let's do it. Let's make this cocktail.
Let's go. So this is the Hacienda Opongue we're using from Michoacan, from central Mexico. So what we're going to do first is we're going to fill our shaker with some ice. We're going to get some of our mezcal, which is going to be the Hacienda Opongue from central Mexico. We're going to do 1 ounce per cocktail today, so we'll do 2 ounces of this. And this is going to be really nice because it's going to go with some piña, which is some nice pineapple juice, which is the sweetness of that goes perfectly with the mezcal. So we're going to do about 2 ounces of that per cocktail. And you want to have a little bit of citric in there as well to cut through the sweetness. So we're going to use some lime juice today, about ½ ounce of that.
I'll let you finish making this up, and maybe you can enjoy it after.
Perfect.
And we will leave this here. Coming up later in the show, we'll show more about Mexico, including introducing you to some of the performers and dancers, Catherine.
I don't have to say it's 5 o'clock somewhere. It's 5 o'clock here, so time for a cocktail.
It is.
All right, thanks for that, Taylor. Time now to check in with what's going on at Folklorama. Tonight, we head south to experience the vibrant tapestry of Mexico City. CTV's Taylor Brock joins us now from the Mexican Pavilion at the RBC Convention Center. So, Taylor, what do they have planned tonight?
A lot of beautiful dancing. Now I have some folks with me who can explain who's actually here putting on the show. So we've got quite a few young people here. Who are they?
Well, thank you for coming over here to the Mexican Pavilion. We got Tlatuanis, a dance group, and mariachi coming from Mexico City just for Folklorama.
Yeah, let's take a walk while we talk about this to show off just all of the beautiful different dances and
Absolutely.
outfits. So it's a little bit of a dancing through the ages, right?
That's exactly it. We got here Maestro Clemente. He is the brain behind the design of this show. And it's a tour on Mexico City all over time and seen by dance and music. And what you see on camera right now at different stages of Mexico, going from the 40s, 50s, 70s, and modern day Mexico, where we still keep all the traditions alive.
Okay. And we have a couple of dancers over here who are going to try to show just one of those dances to me. I'll wander over here. Which dance move are you going to show me?
So we are going to show you a little bit of Jarabe Tapatío from the state of Jalisco, Mexico.
Okay, how do I do this?
So you are going to follow my partner.
Okay.
So you have to...
I can hold it for you, don't worry.
No.
Oh, okay.
Grab my hand. You have to do this with your left foot.
Left foot?
Yeah. Then turn a little bit and with your right foot.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Left.
Like a rhythm of 3.
Okay.
Puedes contar? 1, 2, 3. 2, 3. Tap.
Okay.
1, 2, 3. Tap. Then you're gonna cross with your right foot, like this, with a, yeah. And bam. Yeah. Then with the left foot. Yeah.
Okay.
Again. You can do it. Yeah.
I was told it's time to hand it over to the expert.
Yeah.
So how is it actually supposed to go?
Okay.
I see no
Beautiful.
Yeah, I see no difference between what they were doing and what you were doing, Taylor. So hold your head high.
Yeah, totally. Yeah. I think I can join you guys next week, right?
Maybe tonight. Don't sell yourself short. All right, thanks for that, Taylor.
No worries.
The sounds of mariachi music are about to fill the RBC Convention Center. Yes, Folklorama's Mexican Pavilion is welcoming guests for its first show of the evening. CTV's Taylor Brock joins us now with more. Taylor, I can hear some of that music. What can guests expect there tonight?
Well, what one of the really interesting things about the Mexican Pavilion is it's a different theme every year. Right now, we are walking through the ages through Mexico City, which is exactly what we are going to be doing. So first off, can you tell me a little bit about what's along this back wall here?
Yes, so along this back wall, we have our timeline, a brief, loose timeline of Mexico City, and our dancers actually sort of reflect this timeline. They dance through the ages, and you see the different styles being reflected, and like here we have, you know, the revolution, and then as we keep going, we end all the way to 2024, present day, and if you continue down the wall, you can see that the guajolote, which is, a lot of people think is a fish, but it's actually an amphibian. And if we keep following, we can see this beautiful Frida Kahlo stand.
Of course. You can't exclude this from a pavilion about Mexico.
Exactly. Frida, classic Mexico.
Absolutely. But speaking of Mexico, there are a bunch of different parts of Mexico City that are being highlighted here. Can you tell me a little bit more about why there are QR codes around?
Yes, so I'll actually let my beautiful...
Yeah, Gabby, can you tell me about all of these QR codes?
Absolutely. Well, first, the QR codes, I chose 12 places, the best 12 places to visit in Mexico City to make it easier for people.
Must have been hard to pick.
Exactly. No, it was super hard to pick. Like, if you want to go to Mexico City, I would recommend 2 weeks at least. But they can get to scan the QR code. They can save the link. So if they are planning a trip to Mexico City, it will be easier for them.
Well, and let's get a good picture of Mexico City. There's something special that you've put together just right over here. Can you tell me a little bit more about how people can really enjoy the rest of this pavilion? I understand you have some more shows happening over the next few nights.
Correct. Yes, we have shows, of course, today and also on Saturday. And every single night we have a late night party, a Mexican party. Of course, you have to join. There's great music, dancing. Of course, you have to dance, and some beverages for the adults.
Wonderful.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, obviously, so much to do, so much to see here. And as you saw earlier, lots to eat as well. Catherine, I think I know what your weekend plans are.
Mexican Pavilion, mariachi music, some that delicious food. It looks pretty good. All right, thanks for that, Taylor.
እንኳን ደህና መጣችሁ. በጸሎት discover the Ethiopian Pavilion, where delicious dining is a group affair. Be entertained by our spirited dancers. They will make you want to jump out of your seat and join in. Ethiopia awaits you.
The first week of Folklorama is almost done. That means you have just 2 more nights to take in the first batch of pavilions, including the Scandinavian Pavilion. This year, the Scandinavian Pavilion is inviting guests to come and learn all about Vikings. The pavilion brings 5 Nordic countries together for one big cultural celebration. You can snack on sweet and savory sweets from their kitchen, like Swedish meatballs, while taking in traditional dancing. The pavilion is located in the Scandinavian Cultural Center on Erin Street and has 3 shows a night. Well, summer, of course, is in full swing.
Okay, that does it for us tonight. But before we go, let's check in one more time at Folklorama's Mexican Pavilion, where dancers have just taken the stage. Have a good night.
I want some.
Dancing through the ages. Still to come in the show, how you can travel through time in Mexico City. And we'll break. Finally for us tonight, a step through time at Folklorama's Mexican Pavilion. We leave you tonight for the sights and sounds of Mexico City through the ages. Thanks for watching and good night.
Va flotando mi dulce canción bajo tu divino cielo. Cantó Quirino Mendoza, cantó Fernando Celada, la caída de las hojas. Martín Cruz y Juan Badiano legaron al mundo entero tratados
cities. Continuing our coverage of Folklorama, the First Nations Pavilion is welcoming guests to the RBC Convention Center. The pavilion features a large cultural display where guests can check out a number of teepees, each with a unique interactive approach. Indigenous-inspired dishes are prepared by a Red Seal chef from here in the province, and the entertainment features a number of dance styles mixed with storytelling from the Aboriginal School of Dance.
Of course, this year's theme is Every Child Matters, so the entertainment part, the main stage of the show, has been, we've been getting really, really good reviews. We're really taking an artistic approach as what exactly that tagline actually means. Again, the overall feel of the First Nations Pavilion, we are so welcoming. We are very encouragetive to anybody that wants to come in and explore, and we're so happy to be a part of a multicultural community.
The First Nations Pavilion has 3 more shows tonight, tomorrow and Saturday. Guests can choose from 5 shows starting at 3:45 p.m. And a new...
Around me, I am smelling, well, a very busy kitchen full of things like curry and roti that I'm very excited to get a closer look at coming up later in the show. Now, I know you can't smell this, but you can certainly see how delicious it is going to be. We'll chat more about what is on the menu here at Folklorama at the African Caribbean Pavilion.
Today's You won't need a plane ticket for your next tropical vacation. Our next stop on this week's Folklorama tour takes us to the Africa Caribbean Pavilion, and that's where we find CTV's Taylor Brock. So Taylor, I understand you have a sneak peek at one of my personal favorite food. Not great to be talking about food and farts in the same sentence, so take it away, Taylor.
Sounds like you're hungry. I may make it a little worse right now. So we are here with Chef Romain talking about what people are going to be having for dinner here. So what's on the plate?
So on the plate here is one of our famous dish. It's called the jerk chicken. And it's one of our dish that we're featuring here at the Afro-Caribbean Folklorama. And we're serving it with rice and peas and fresh chopped vegetable with coleslaw.
Okay. And you've got another plate right beside it. What's with all of the spices?
So these spices is what we use to marinate the meat that turns it into jerk. So what we have here is onion powder. We got some salt, some black pepper. We have some hot Scotch bonnet pepper. We have some thyme, onion, garlic, and some soy sauce.
Okay.
And there's one ingredient missing, which is called allspice or pimento. So, and then it turns into this marinade. So it's a wet marinade, and we use it to marinate the chicken, and overnight, and then in the morning we cook it off and get ready for Folklorama.
So now that you have all this yummy food in your belly, how do you wash it all down?
Sure, we have some famous rum punch. It's all fruits blended all together, and we had some nice Caribbean rum. We add to it and wash it down very nicely.
Okay, well, it sounds like folks have a lot of very tasty dishes that they can dig into here at the African Caribbean Pavilion. And we'll get a better idea coming up in the 6 o'clock show of everything that this pavilion has to offer.
For sure.
I still haven't recovered from that last flub. I feel that will haunt me.
Well, hopefully this one will be fart-free.
Yeah, here's hoping. We can't, no guarantees. So Colleen Brady has your spotlight today. And time now to check in with what's going on at Folklorama, where guests have 3 more nights to take in the first batch of pavilions. Tonight, we take you to a region known for its calypso beats and spicy food. CTV's Taylor Brock joins us now from the Africa Caribbean Pavilion. So Taylor, what's on the schedule for tonight?
Well, a lot of dancing is on the schedule, and I'm joined by people who actually are able to dance, who are going to hopefully show me a little bit of some of the dance moves that you folks are performing tonight. So Kayla, what are we doing? What are you showing me?
So today we're going to be doing soca. Soca is a mix of soul and calypso, and it's just a combination of African and Caribbean, and it's just coming together to make like a whole rhythm of different dance moves.
And you have an easy move prepared for me to try. Can you show me how we do this one?
So for this move, you're just pivoting on your right foot, left, and then back. And while we're doing that, we're just moving our hands forward, then backwards. And then we just kind of speed it up as we go.
Okay, we'll give this one a go. And then once I fail at it, we'll put the music on and we'll see how it's actually done. Okay, so I'll give this one a go first. Okay, so I stay on my right foot.
We pivot on our right, and it's just forward, then backwards.
Okay.
And with our hands, we're just going up, then down.
Okay, okay. Yeah, ready.
Forward, then backwards.
Okay.
Yep. Just like that. And then you just speed it up as we go.
Okay, I think this is probably as fast as I should go. I'll let you folks actually show how fast it's supposed to go with the right rhythms and movements. We'll give the music a go.
Pretty amazing stuff. We'll see more later at this pavilion.
The seat.
Thanks, Colleen. It may be a little bit cold out there, but one place in the city tonight is feeling hot, hot, hot. Yes, Folklorama's Africa Caribbean Pavilion. That's where we find CTV's Taylor Brock. So, Taylor, what's going on down there?
Well, it's a good heat over here. Right now, we are currently with Deandra, who's going to give us a bit of a glimpse into African Caribbean culture. We're going to try to pack things in. So first off, can you tell us a little bit more about the table? What do we have displayed here?
All right, well, here we have the table that is dedicated to the Afro-Caribbean Association of Manitoba, also known as ACAM. And without this association, our pavilion would not be possible at all. It is the members and the board that come together to put together our pavilion. So you'll see some volunteers even in these photos from the 70s that are here today.
Yeah. And speaking of the pavilion, we'll wander a little over here towards a different table where you can show us again, a very tiny slice of what you can find in the African Caribbean.
I mean, on this table here in our cultural display room, you'll see a glimpse of all sorts of things from across Africa and the Caribbean. So you'll see some wooden sculptures like this one here, or the fertility doll here. So, I mean, I don't know if you want to touch that one or stay away from it. It's up to you.
There's like a force field almost, it feels like.
Yes.
Do not get past this point.
Exactly. And then we also have hand-woven bags made out of straw and bamboo. And so you'll see a lot of the materials repeating throughout the room, like straw, bamboo, wood, or the calabash, which is a gourd that can be made into an instrument too.
And there were a particular set of beads that you had pointed out to me. Can you explain this one a little bit?
Right, so right here we have the generational beads. These are from Nigeria, and they're something that is passed down through generation to generation. And one of my biggest honors was being handed a pair of these from a Nigerian chief, which was an awesome moment. It just shows, even throughout our pavilion, how there's different generations here and so much community. We even have like a bunch of volunteers that have come together to volunteer their time and make our pavilion a success.
Well, folks have to come down here to see all of the different art pieces and just the vast array of culture over here. Of course, though, the event's going on all week long.
Looks like a lot of fun. Okay, thanks for that preview, Taylor.
Mabuhay, I'm Anne.
And I'm Maribel, and we are the adult ambassadors from the Pearl of the Orient Philippine Pavilion.
From song to dance, experience the sights and sounds of the Philippine Islands.
Enjoy Filipino hospitality and cuisine.
Arrive as a guest.
And leave as a friend.
For us tonight, but over at Folklorama's Africa Caribbean Pavilion, things are just getting started. The first performance of the night has just begun. Let's listen in.
WPG. Let's go now to Ainsley McPhail, who is into week 2 of Folklorama. This is the Latin American Pavilion you're visiting today. Good morning, Ainsley. Ainsley, can you hear me? Ainsley? Looks like we're having some... Ainsley, can you hear me now? All right, we're having some technical difficulties. Well, hope everyone... All right, now we're going to go to Ainsley McPhail, who's live this morning at the Latin America Pavilion. Good morning, Ainsley.
Good morning, Michelle. Yeah, there's a little bit of a delay on our side. All things are cleared up. I'm just a little embarrassed that Manitoba knows what my resting face looks like. Folklorama. I am experiencing this for the 3rd time as a Winnipegger, but for the first time at the Latin America Pavilion because it's brand new. It encompasses 12 different countries. Behind me here is the cultural display, something that we're going to be focusing on coming up at 7:27. What you're looking at here is a male Colombian outfit, things that were purchased and brought in specifically for Folklorama. And you might see them when you come here and check out some of the dance routines. Coming up at 6:37, we're going to be looking at Latin Roots, who will be doing a live performance for us. We're going to be talking about the late night parties. Everything was sold out. You're going to get something last night, and you're going to get something different every single day when you come in here. So we've got rotating acts. There's too much to fill in, especially as I'm encompassing 12 different countries, but you're just going to have to stick around for that live performance at 6:37.
Okay, can't wait. Thank you, Ainsley. Yeah, let's go back now to Latin America, where Ainsley McPhail is visiting its pavilion. Good morning, Ainsley.
Good morning. First time anyone could capture this. Shows that were sold out last night, and there's so many more that you can capture, including one today. Its pavilion coordinator joins me, Jessie Lemus. Good morning. Thanks for being on our show. Who are we going to see today, and what performance from what region?
We're going to be seeing the sponsoring association, Latin Roots Dance Troupe and Association, and they're going to be doing a dance from the Darifuna people, which can be found in modern-day Belize, Honduras, Guatemala, and Nicaragua. It's a blend of African and Indigenous and Spanish roots, so I'm sure you guys will enjoy it.
Lots there. When we talk about, because we're encompassing so much, 12 different countries with this pavilion. Tell us about why that's so important to give that respect to so many different countries in Latin America.
It's for many, it's the first time that they're going to be able to showcase their culture. So it's very important for us as a Latin American community to be able to work in union and to be able to give that platform to all of these cultures that might have not had the opportunity to have their own pavilion. So we're really excited to be working together and to showcase our different and diverse cultures.
And seriously entertaining too. So much to see, so diverse. What can people expect?
There's almost a different show every day. So for the people who came yesterday, if you come back today, it's a completely different show. All the cultural attire has been exclusively done for us. So you guys are in for a treat.
Thank you so much. That's a perfect tease. In for a treat. Let's hear it.
So beautiful when you hear that drum. Oh my goodness, the power.
You're excited.
Oh, I know, it's wonderful.
And it was just about to get good, you could tell, which is all the more reason to go on down and check it out.
Absolutely.
We don't give it all away here at CTV. We just
Not
like
even
to tease
close.
you a little bit.
Let's go back now to Ainsley McPhail, who is taking us to the Latin America Pavilion, and there's lots to enjoy there. The music is just fantastic.
Oh, the music and the cultural attire, Rochelle. I'm going to show you some stuff from Nicaragua, Colombia, and Bolivia here. What's unique about this, these are all from Nicaragua. These dresses took 2 months to complete. They cost about $800, and they were $3,000 to ship. However, the pavilion coordinator thought, okay, that's too much. He actually flew to Nicaragua to pick these up. So these Bolivian pieces, look how long they would have taken. And this one here from Colombia, $1,000. You know what, Rochelle? I'm not even going to touch it. Coming up at 7:27, I love this sneak peek, though. We're going to be talking about the cultural display, which is in the other end at the RBC Convention Center. We also are going to be seeing a live performance in the 7 o'clock hour and trying some tasty dessert, one from Argentina.
Oh, my goodness. That'll be fun. All right. Thank you, Ainsley. All right, let's show you the question of the day again. Week 2 of Folklorama is here. Let us know which pavilions you're loving the most and what's making them your favorites. All right, go to our X page, CTV Morning, WPG. That's beautiful. What else is beautiful? These beautiful costumes that you can check out for yourself at the Latin America Pavilion. We'll be back after this with more CTV Morning Live.
Over the confidence of
Let's go back to the Latin America Pavilion where Ainsley McPhail is this morning. Good morning, Ainsley. What's up now?
Good morning. We are at the cultural display, one of my favorite spaces, Latin America Pavilion. Brand new this year. Jesse Lumos joins us, the pavilion coordinator, to tell us all about it and all about some of the faces you might see. So how did you pull from this and it being your inaugural year?
Yeah, so it was a collaborative effort between dancers and members of the community. We asked who they would think could best represent different countries and cultures found in Latin America. So today, for example, we're going to be talking about Juan Luis Guerra, who is a very famous and popular musician from the Dominican Republic. He's one of the artists that made bachata, for example, become not only well known in the Caribbean and in the Dominican Republic, but all over Latin America, and then transcend to other parts of the world. So he's very emblematic for Dominicans and for Latin America as well.
And you're encompassing 12 different countries, and that's exemplified through a lot of these faces here. There's also a really cool display that we weren't able to move, but you will see later in the show, don't you worry. Yeah. Tell us about those murals.
So we have a very talented artist named Isel Tamayo, and they helped us with doing 12 different portraits of Latin America. So maybe when you guys come by, you can take a look and try to guess where each portrait is from. So for example, there's the cathedral from Granada in Nicaragua. And there's some that, you know, you might need assistance from a tour guide to help you to try to guess which one it is. So yeah.
Or you know what? Or they can come in person and see it for themselves. It's about future generations too. It's about reaching out to the broader public, inviting people into this pavilion. Tell the public about those future generations and what's coming up.
Yes, we're really excited this year because it was our first year. We started with the adult dance group, but next year we're planning on having the children's dance group as well. So that involves, you know, the children, the parents, the grandparents, all the family. So we're really looking forward to keep on building on this platform to continue promoting different cultures that we haven't been able to promote in the past.
Thank you so much. This is awesome. So many live performances. They rotate too. Live bands on the weekend. So much more. Coming up, we've got a dance, and it might include fire, Rochelle.
Okay, well, we're intrigued. Thank you, Ainsley. Thank you, Terry. Let's go back now to Ainsley McPhail, who's at Latin America. That pavilion is a newer pavilion, and it's going to be fantastic to check out. You have some dance now for us.
Yes, I'm certainly not going to be doing the dancing. Latin Roots will be doing the dancing. This one is Peruvian. Isabella Rodriguez joins us now. She is an ambassador. Please tell us about what we can expect, because I understand there's some fire.
So, El Festejo is an Afro-Peruvian dance originated from the African traditions, and this dance has joyful rhythms, and the dancers will try to burn each other like trying to courtship.
So courtship, it's like the guy, the guy's trying to get the girl's attention.
Yeah, the main thing. Yep. Yep.
Tell us about the dancing itself. You've been in the group about 6 months.
Yeah, so it's very like high energy, a lot of rhythms, and very cultural.
And it's something you can expect to see at Folklorama. These change, these alternate, so you can get it different every time. You're going to see one now. Okay, guys, take it away.
That is so beautiful. Let's go back now to Ainsley McPhail, who is at the Latin America Pavilion. We've seen so many fun things already, Ainsley. What else do you got for us?
Well, I have a bit of a sweet tooth, Rochelle, so that's what we're going to be chatting about, as well as the rest of the menu. Lots on tap. But first, I did want to mention this beautiful paintings behind us. 12 different countries are represented here. We're at the Latin America Pavilion, new to Folklorama. Okay, Jesse Lemos joins us. Fantastic cultural attire, I have to add. You look fabulous.
Carnaval de Barranquilla, Colombia.
Amazing. I have a sweet tooth, so we're going to work in reverse. Let's talk about this dessert.
So these are alfajores, very popular in South America. The ones we're featuring today are from Argentina. So it's almost like a shortbread cookie sandwich filled with dulce de leche, which is almost like milk caramel, and just a little bit of coconut as well. So it's quite delightful.
Breakfast, got it. Okay. When it comes to the other items on the menu as well, diverse.
We have a very extensive menu. We're featuring dishes, for example, from Peru. We have ají de gallina, which is like a shredded chicken and a yellow pepper sauce with a bed of white rice and potato, a little bit of egg and olive. Delicious. We're also featuring yuca, which is also called yuca or mandioca or manioc or cassava, fried and with pork as well, and coleslaw and salsa. Delicious. Extensive food menu, extensive dessert menu. We have over 6 different types of desserts. And as well, our beverages, we have over 10 different beverages, and most of them are imported as well.
So these two are from Colombia. What would they be comparable to as to the sodas that we drink here in Canada?
So the Colombiana is sort of like a cream soda from Colombia, and then Manzana is apple flavor pop, which is quite good as well.
Okay, and then the one to our immediate left here.
A very popular one is from Peru called Inca Cola or Golden Cola. It's usually drank with popular dishes like the ají de gallina and the causa that we have as well. So we tried to feature a lot of Peruvian dishes because we also featured Peru in our dances. Yeah, so in other countries where other pops were quite popular, this one remained, or it still remains to this day, the most popular pop in Peru.
Oh my gosh. And you can try it here when you come to Folklorama. Anything else I haven't mentioned? We're almost out of time.
Just to come and visit us, and we're really looking forward. As you see, we have a diverse show, diverse menu, and we're happy to welcome you guys to our pavilion.
Awesome. Thank you so much. And for the very first time, how great is that? Coming up at 8:38, we have more. Don't you dare go anywhere.
We won't. Okay, thank you, Ainsley. It's week 2 of Folklorama already, and we wanted to know if there are any pavilions that you've been loving the most. And Marlene says the African pavilion she's been loving. And Susan says, my favorite is the Ukrainian. The dancing, the music, and the great food. Thank you to all of you for your responses. And maybe the Latin America will be someone's new favorite this year. Ainsley McPhail, that is where you are this morning. Good morning.
Mine changes every day, Rochelle, because I'm there and then it becomes my new favorite. Yeah. And then the next day I'm there and that becomes my new favorite. So
makes sense.
All around the world. Yes. And Latin America encompasses 12 different countries. Jesse Lemos joins us one more time to tell us all about it and what you can expect when you're actually on site. I have to give you credit, though, because you've made numerous outfit changes throughout the morning. This one's got a bit of a jingle to it. So please explain.
This outfit comes all the way from, well, this cultural attire comes all the way from Bolivia. So yeah, we close, well, all our shows are different practically every day, as well as we were mentioning. So this is used for a caporal dance. So I hope you guys get to see it in our finale.
And hear it even when you walk by. It's great. Tell us about this area, because you can pick up something on the way.
Yes, we have lots of different vendors and lots of souvenirs that you can take back home, from jewelry, or we have cookies, snacks, bubble gum, quite a big selection actually. And there's also hair braiding, for example, when you visit the souvenir area of the Latin American Pavilion.
Even just to see the diverse amount that's showing off so many different countries, so many different tastes, and the party. We can't forget about the party. I know yesterday you sold out too. So in the evening, there's something fun for everyone.
Yes, on Friday we have a live band named Son de Arranque, and we have a Latin DJ too. And then on Saturday we have Turubande, which is a new Latin band led by Jaime Chinchilla from Costa Rica, and as well a Latin DJ. So I hope you guys can make it out. You know, Latinos, we know how to party very well, and we love to have many guests enjoy and indulge in our culture.
Not only that, but I mean, that's what Folklorama is about, but the first time people can see this.
That's right. You can see it through our bar, you can see it through our food, you can see it on cultural display, all the effort we've put into putting our show practically every day. I think it's going to be an amazing experience. I hope you guys can come down this week to the Latin American Pavilion.
Thank you so much. Okay, we've got another week too, so we'll see you at another country tomorrow.
It looks beautiful. Thank you, Ainsley. Out on the rooftop.
Bienvenidos, I'm Isabella.
And I'm Nava Maria. We're from the Latin American Pavilion.
Experience the rhythm and sounds of countries such as Bolivia and Costa Rica.
And taste the diverse dishes of our Latin melting pot.
Nos vemos!
And our trip around the world continues tonight with a visit to that South American country. Group of countries, I should say. The Latin American Pavilion is putting on a different show every day of the week. Guests can learn all about the region's authentic cultural attire while enjoying a generous variety of food and drink. This is the very first time Latin America is joining Folklorama.
We felt ready to showcase all of the different diverse dances that we have. We have over 60 choreographies, so it was quite a challenge to choose which ones we would present on this occasion. But as well, we think it's a platform to give an opportunity to many cultures that haven't had an opportunity to showcase what they have to share to the world.
The Latin American Pavilion is located in the RBC Convention Center. On Friday and Saturday nights, it's hosting late-night parties as well, with live music and dancing. A new